The attorney representing St. Louis County Executive Sam Page speaks to KMOX and previews their defense. I've got that story coming up.
The head of the EPA says hearing from victims of contamination at the Westlake landfill prompted him to fast-track the site's cleanup.
DNA testing underway to help solve a 45-year-old cold case in Ellisville.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Partly sunny for today. We'll have a warmer high of 82.
In sports, the Cardinals battle the Mariners in Seattle.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. All eyes on Capitol Hill are on an alleged birthday message from President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein more than 20 years ago, after it was released by a House committee last night. It includes a drawing in the shape of a nude woman, references secrets and, quote, certain things the two men have in common. CBS News Justice Department correspondent Scott McFarland.
In July, Trump denied making the sketch or the note and then filed a defamation lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for reporting the note's existence.
I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you.
In a statement posted to X, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called the birthday card story false and said President Trump did not draw this picture and he did not sign it.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is speaking out after the Supreme Court gave ICE the go-ahead for roving sweeps in the city as part of the president's immigration crackdown.
This isn't just an attack on the people of Los Angeles. This is an attack on every person in this city and in every city in our country.
The White House has also announced it's expanding raids in Chicago and the Boston area. A former leader at the National Institutes of Health is opening up after she was demoted.
Dr. Jean Marazzo succeeded Dr. Anthony Fauci as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. She tells CBS News she was reassigned after opposing Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s push to cancel vaccine research and clinical trials.
They didn't want somebody in that position who was going to argue about what they thought was right.
Marazzo says Kennedy is unqualified.
He's dangerous because he ignores the evidence.
She filed a whistleblower complaint last week alleging illegal retaliation. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Out of work? Looking for a new gig? Chances are you're not hopeful. Here's CBS's Jesse Mitchell.
Americans' confidence in finding a new job has dropped to a record low, according to the latest report of consumer expectations from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The average perceived probability of finding a new job after losing one fell to just over 44% among the heads of households surveyed.
Apple is unveiling some new stuff today. The company says it'll be awe-dropping. Tech contributor Ian Scher has his eye on AI.
The iPhone is nearly 20 years old at this point. And while Apple has still found ways to refine it, the one thing everyone's paying attention to these days is artificial intelligence.
The company is expected to debut a new thinner iPhone and MacBook, as well as updated AirPods. Dow futures are down 4, S&P futures up 7, and NAS futures ahead 56. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit progressive.com.
It is 6:03, and right now in downtown St. Louis, cloudy skies, 49 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Today, the Missouri House could send 2 bills to the Senate. One would make it harder to change the state constitution by petition. The other would redraw congressional maps to be more favorable to Republicans. State Rep Anthony Ely of Jackson County.
Kansas City and Jackson County function as one community and shouldn't be chopped up into pieces. Let rural Missouri keep districts that fit rural needs, and let the Kansas City area keep one that fits ours.
John Simmons of Washington is in Franklin County on whether this map was drawn in Missouri or Washington, D.C.
Governor Keogh's a self-made man. He's not going to take orders from anybody. He's going to do what's right for Missourians, and that's what he did, in concert, I'm sure, with advisors through the Trump administration.
The vote to approve the petition changes was 96 to 55.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page's attorney defending his client for a mailing that has landed him in criminal trouble.
After attorney Matthew Radefeld said nothing on the anti-Proposition B mail was incorrect, KMOX pointed out the line about the county council being able to fire the police chief if it passed was disputed. Radefeld's response?
In order to get the ball rolling, that would all have to start with the county council. And the ultimate decision very well could rely with the police commission.
Radefeld said they also wish to speak with newly sworn-in Attorney General Catherine Hanaway about dropping the case, saying they have information not given to the grand jury. He would not share that information with KMOX. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
The St. Louis County prosecutor says the death of Dorian Johnson appears to be a domestic incident involving a claim of self-defense, which is being investigated. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price Smith says one suspect had been arrested and detained, but was released when no criminal charges were filed within the 24-hour maximum holding time. Dorian Johnson was the friend of and with Michael Brown Jr. back in 2014 when Brown was shot and killed by a former Ferguson police officer.
The only homicide in the history of Ellisville remains unsolved, but for how long?
The cold case dating back to 1980 has now been reopened for the fourth time since the original investigation was closed. In the death of a Parkway South school secretary, Margaret Walsh, who was 47 at the time, she worked nights at the Dairy Queen in Ellisville. All the other employees had left after the shift. She was in the process of leaving when she was shot in the head and killed. Someone got away with $125 that was in the drawer for the next morning. Fast forward to 2025, with the advancement of DNA testing, all of the evidence collected by Ellisville PD will be sent in, including her clothes and the bullet. Former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch is leading the cold case investigation.
What we need people to do is say, you know what, it's 45 years later. Let's give this family some closure. So that's what we're going to ask of you. So here's what you can do. Please call Crime Stoppers, 866-371-TIPS. And if you call, you can leave. We want you to be anonymous, and you will be eligible up to a $5,000 reward.
Outside Ellisville City Hall, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Excavation of the Westlake landfill is now slated to begin 2 years ahead of schedule in 2027. The head of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, says the decision to fast-track the project was prompted by powerful testimony he heard earlier this year from victims of contamination. He told Spectrum News that the local community is really happy about the expedited timeline and confirmed that pre-construction work is already ramping up. Zeldin added that he is personally staying on top of the project's progress.
A health tech startup that's getting familiar with St. Louis has a mission of helping women and children first.
Dr. Isabel Von Cohorn is Chief Medical Officer of Pomelo Care. She felt moved to join a virtual care app that's focused on mothers after experiences at her hospital.
You know, I was a practicing neonatologist for almost 20 years, and what I saw was that so many babies who came to my NICU, really the reason they were there was potentially avoidable.
She says the health business community in St. Louis impressed her during the Global STL Health Innovation Summit. Something else, too.
Thank you very much for inviting me to move to St. Louis. The weather today certainly makes that very tempting.
You can hear more later this morning at 8:41. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. A new 4-year contract for musicians at the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra has been inked. The agreement between the symphony and the union representing musicians will boost their base pay to $128,000 a year in 2030. The deal also includes a $10,000 pay raise in the first year of the contract, as well as greater flexibility and expansion of community partnership programs, according to the Business Journal. Symphony President Marie-Hélène Bernard calls the new agreement an investment in the musicians, who are the very heart of the organization.
The St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy talks about his plans to help eliminate the unhoused issue, especially in local downtown parks. I'm Maria Aquino with details.
That'll come up after we check traffic and weather. It's 6:08.
I always get asked, when's the best time of the year to purchase an air conditioning and heating system for your home? My response is always the same. If you call me and have a free consultation on your needs and based on your budget, it's always a good time. There's never a bad time. You don't fear my pricing. I try to buy as much as I can at the start of the season, and anything we have left over, it's still a discounted price to you. So if you're looking or you're waiting before winter, because we all put it off, man, we all put it off. None of us like to spend money. But if you know you're going to be doing something before winter, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 888-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
At 6:10, let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We're doing okay out there on a Tuesday so far, Tom. It's real easy going on the area interstates. I just still see just the briefest of delays eastbound 70 just east of 47 in Warrenton into that work zone. Thinned out even before you get more than not even quite midway into Wright City into the rest area, more specifically. So just a brief delay east of 47 on eastbound Highway 70 right now. And there's just a brief delay. It looks better now than it did 10 minutes ago on northbound 67 at Double C. They're working out there till 7 a.m. this morning, eastbound 64 between 159 and Greenmount. A couple lanes down, but it's not bothering anybody. And the rest of the area highway is still light on the go for you so far. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We start turning warmer today, partly sunny skies and a high of 82. Then with patchy clouds, we drop down to 63 tonight, turning even hotter tomorrow. Mostly sunny with highs up near 90 degrees. Then partly to mostly sunny and hot, but not too humid on Thursday. The high on Thursday, 92. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 49 degrees out there right now with cloudy skies, and the weather is sponsored for you by Dave Sinclair Lincoln St. Peter's, hosting free prostate screenings with Urology of St. Louis. Walk into Dave Sinclair Lincoln St. Peter's September 10th from 4 to 6:30 for a blood draw. That's Wednesday, September 10th, tomorrow, from 4 to 6:30 at Dave Sinclair Lincoln St. Peter's.
It's 6:12. The city of St. Louis has shut down the open-air drug market in the park at 14th and Park that KMOX brought into light last week.
Maria Kina spoke with St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy about the challenge of moving the unhoused and then having a place for them to go.
And in addition to having a place to stay, getting them the help they need for drug addiction and often mental health problems poses yet another challenge.
300 calls. We made 37 arrests. I believe at one time, a number might have grown since the last time I put those numbers out, or I had Mitch put them out. But we're going to continue to address that issue. It is an issue. Get the people the help that they need and try to get them off the street.
But of now, there is no concrete plan already in place. However, Chief Tracy says police have to work with Mayor Spencer's administration and other departments like Human Services and the city councilor. As to when those meetings will happen is not yet clear. So while the problem may have been eliminated at one place, generally, the unhoused will move to another area, just like when they were removed from Schiller Park across from Stiefel early in the spring and then ended up at 14th and Pine. Maria Akina, KMOX News.
Again, that's 14th and Pine, where the park is located here in St. Louis. A new lawsuit targets the assets of a local doctor who is already serving time in federal prison. The Business Journal reporting Midland States Bank is suing Sonny Sager and his companies, trying to collect more than $1 million from two business loans that the bank says were never paid back. Sager operated urgent cares downtown and in Creve Coeur. The civil suit is separate from the criminal case that landed Sager his nearly 3-year sentence in defrauding Medicare and Medicaid.
The Department of Homeland Security announcing Operation Midway Blitz, a ramp-up of immigration raids in Chicago. That follows a Supreme Court ruling yesterday that overturned a federal judge's order blocking a similar operation in Los Angeles. The court's 6-3 decision, which was unsigned, came with a concurring opinion from Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who cited demographics to support the crackdown. Kavanaugh noted that roughly 10% of LA's population, or 2 million people, are in the country illegally. Efforts in Chicago coincide with President Trump's promise to deploy the National Guard to address the city's homicide rate, despite opposition from Governor Pritzker.
In the parking lot of the St. Louis Kaplan-Feldman Holocaust Museum, you'll find a cattle car, a replica rail car like the ones the Nazis used to take millions of Jewish people to killing centers or concentration camps.
Inside this replica cattle car is a video and photo presentation about the history with survivor testimony, with historical video. So it's really meaningful. It's really unique, and it's only here for 5 days.
The museum's Amy Lutz says the traveling exhibition is called Hate Ends Now. Advance tickets are required, and Sunday is already sold out. It opens tomorrow. The Hate Ends Now exhibit was made possible by Gloria Kaplan-Feldman and her family. Gloria is herself a Holocaust survivor and wanted to find a way to share her experience of being forced into a cattle car herself as a child. It's 6:15. All eyes on Cal Raleigh. The catcher for the Seattle Mariners has 53 home runs this season. We're only on September 9th. The Cardinals were the latest to face the Mariners. They did that last night. It is an 8:40 start tonight, and here is Raleigh in the fourth inning facing Miles Michaelis.
And he's got a one-strike count. The next pitch to him is popped up way in the air. No one sees it in the middle infield, but it's going to be Victor Scott who has it, as that was sky high off the bat of Cal Raleigh. Unfortunately, it wasn't in the infield. It made its way to Victor Scott.
Even his pop-ups are spectacular to watch. Raleigh pops out there, and Michaelis gets the out. He also got this.
Oh, for the double play here. Miles delivers. Curveball is grounded back to Miles. To short for one. On the bag was Miles. The double play is completed. 1-6-3. And Miles Michaelis made a good pitch on Naylor.
And that was after he was helped by a two-run homer by Alec Burleson, and Michaelis was in business. He pitched in the fifth.
From the belt. Polanco leads at third. The pitch. A swing and a miss. A curveball strikes out Robles. The second strikeout for Michaelis.
Michaelis worked into the sixth inning, but he allowed a leadoff walk. And after another base hit put two runners on, that was trouble. They pulled Michaelis, put in Gordon Graceffo. Cardinals working with a short bullpen.
Right-hander kicks. He fires. A swing and a line drive off Mason's wins glove into left field. One run scores. The throw into second, not quite in time to get Cal Raleigh. That was a close play at second. Good throw by Nootbaar. But it's 2-1 Cardinals. The leadoff walk is scored.
Here comes Naylor again.
And here's Josh Naylor. Naylor grounded into a double play his last time up, and he hits the ball to deep center. That's way back, bouncing off the wall. 2 runs are scoring. They're going to try to score a third. The throw home, the tag, and he's out. Rodriguez is out at the plate, but the Mariners get 2 more to take the lead.
The damage done. They score another run, a 4-run inning. That's all they needed, 4-2. The Mariners beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a game under 500 right now, and the National League wild card race has the Cubs, Padres, and Mets as the 3 teams. Mets have lost 3 in a row. Giants trying to close in on them. They are 3 back in that National League wild card race. The Reds, who are a 500 team, are sitting 4 back. In the American League wild card, it's the Yankees, Red Sox, and the Mariners who own the 3rd spot. And the Mariners are desperate right now because the Rangers and Guardians are trying to chase them down. Seattle's now won 3 in a row. Texas is a game and a half out. Cleveland 2.5 out. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Cardinal Cowboy here. After a coma, a miracle, and the fight of my life, I made it back to the games wearing my signature cowboy hat and jersey. Then came the baseball pants, the replica trophy, and the smiles and joy from the young fans. That's when the Cardinal Cowboy was born. Renner Garage Door knows how to bring joy too. With top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, and family service you can trust, get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back. Giddy up!
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
That baby's gone.
Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season.
Holy cow!
Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider.
Incredible.
Including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it!
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game! That couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
Hey, look, you can have your pumpkin spice latte, your pumpkin spice this, your pumpkin spice that. I'll give it to you. It's pumpkin spice season. It is. We had a cool down. It's going to warm up again, but it's September. We're there. I've got one for you, though. This is the ultimate. You ready? Pumpkin pie concrete. That's right. Think of a vanilla, that Ted Drew's delicious vanilla frozen custard, and they basically just drop a slice of pumpkin pie in there and make it concrete. Oh, baby. Ted Drew's remains family owned and operated, 96 years, 4 generations of families serving St. Louisans that famous frozen custard of pumpkin pie concrete. I just made your day, didn't I? Ted Drew's frozen custard, fresh, fast, and fun. Try an inspired flavor or create your own favorite with over 30 toppings to choose from. They are in 2 locations, 6726 Chippewa and 4224 South Grand. Ted Drew's frozen custard. Unmatched quality, unforgettable taste.
Total Information AM. Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, it's 6:21. Let's get a update on your ride in this morning. If you're just heading out the door, Roger Brand may or may not have some bad news for you. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, there's not much bad news to go on right there so far this morning, Debbie. This traffic report service of Anderson Hospital. The only place I've seen some delays pop up in the last few minutes is going to be eastbound Highway 30. It looks like it's a pretty solid backup the hill from our industrial there to 270. So the restrictions going on there. There's a little more volume on the highway, so there's a little bit of a slowdown through McNutt on northbound 55, and the right lane's right around Mattis, but it's still not bad north of Bayless, headed up to River de Pere. Out to the west, that's where we had the first slowdown, eastbound 70 from Warrenton midway into the Wright City rest area. But that one, the first one we had, is thinned out. Southbound 61, just a little busy. Westport Parkway on to 64 and 64, seeing some slow traffic on 64, running both directions really through Winghaven right now. Illinois drivers still look great downtown, headed across the bridges. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Serving the Metro East region with excellence, Anderson Hospital is proud to be named one of Newsweek's World's Best Hospitals for 2025. Experience world-class care close to home. AndersonHospital.org.
Well, what a forecast we have. Heather Zaire says sunny, warm, high 82. Sounds great. Low 63 tonight. But tomorrow we start to get hot again. A high near 90 degrees. Thursday, Friday, 92, 94. Saturday's high, 97. Near the record of 100 set in 1939. Right now it's 50 in Florissant, 50 in St. Peter's, 49 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:23. 45 years. That's how long the one and only unsolved murder case in Ellisville has gone cold. But now, thanks to new technology and a fresh look, police are hoping to finally bring justice to a mother of 3.
It was April 24th, 1980, when 47-year-old Margaret Walsh was found shot and killed inside the Dairy Queen she managed on Clayton Road. Police believe she was leaving the restaurant the night before when she was approached by someone. The two went back inside where the office and Walsh's purse had been ransacked.
The case went cold, but now it's being re-examined by the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's new cold case unit at a news conference yesterday. Prosecuting Attorney Melissa Price-Smith said they are ready to help.
Our office is now starting a cold case unit, which will be led by Jerry McDonald, who's here with us today. Jerry is a veteran state prosecutor and a former assistant U.S. attorney. Jerry and his team will ensure that law enforcement has all the resources they need to work on these cold cases and to ensure that victims know that they are not forgotten.
Former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch is heading up the case for the Ellisville Police Department. He says modern DNA technology will give them a chance to retest key evidence, including Walsh's clothes and the bullet that killed her.
What we do have are things that need to be investigated more thoroughly. There are pieces of this. We have forensic. Lieutenant Keller took the evidence out to Clayton, to the county crime lab. It's all been resubmitted, including the bullet that was taken from Marge, from her body. In 1980, there wasn't a lot of forensics out there. We didn't have DNA in 1980. I didn't come on the county police until 83. We didn't have DNA then. When I was in homicide, it was just getting started. So all of her clothes, Ellisville did a great job preserving this evidence. Without that, we don't know what we'd have. So all of that's been taken back to the county crime lab to be retested with the new technologies that we have today.
Fitch says a lot of those who are related to Margaret Walsh, who went by the same Marge, have passed away, making the investigation more difficult.
Marge had 3 children at the time, 16, 18, and 21. All are deceased. None had children of their own. Marge was divorced and her ex-husband had remarried. Her ex-husband is deceased. I located and interviewed her ex-husband's second wife, who still lives in the community. Marge has a surviving sister who lives in Massachusetts. I've spoken with her several times since the case was reopened. Marge had a boyfriend at the time of the homicide. I was also able to determine that he is now deceased. She was working that night with 3 Lafayette High School students. They were helping her close up for the night. One left earlier. The other 2 left just about 10:30, 10:45 that night, the 23rd of April, 1980. So she saw the last 2 off. They went out the back door, they got their cars and they left, and that left her in the restaurant by herself. Typically, Marge was home between 11 to 11:15 to 11:30. Well, we know she clocked out at 10 minutes to 11 that night. That doesn't mean she left the restaurant then. That's when she clocked out. She was known to stay a little later after she clocked out to finish her duties. So she did not show up at home that night, but nobody knew that because everybody was already in bed. So she wasn't discovered until the next morning, a little after 7, by the co-owner of the restaurant. So when the co-owner showed up that next morning, the 24th, a little after 7 a.m., she saw Marge's car parked out front. And she thought, well, that's strange. Marge shouldn't be here. Maybe she forgot something. Maybe she came by. She didn't know. So she went into the building, and unfortunately, she found Marge had been shot to death in the back office area. So there was nobody there with Marge employee-wise when this happened. So as you can see, there's no witnesses to this other than the killer or killers.
Since the case was reopened in April, police have already received many tips they're actively following up on. Here's Ellisville Police Chief Steve Lewis.
Someone out there knows what happened to Marge. Maybe it's a memory you've held out for years, or a piece of the story that you didn't know mattered to us. Well, it does. Now's the time to come forward. We're asking for the public's help. If you have any information at all, no matter how small it seems, please contact us or reach out anonymously to Crime Stoppers. A reward of up to $5,000 is available for information that leads to an arrest. We believe that justice delayed doesn't have to be justice denied. We want the Walsh family to know that we have not given up. We've reopened this case with renewed focus, using modern forensic tools and exploring every possible lead.
It's 6:28. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for Your Retirement Highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, registered investment advisors. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
It is now 6:30. We've got cloudy skies and 49 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, in the last report, I mentioned some slow traffic coming through Winghaven on 64. Turns out we have a crash there. It looks like it's the right lane, so I think it's where you're merging on from Winghaven onto eastbound 64 anyway. A lane blocked there and traffic's backing up. It's starting to slow down at 364. Now, westbound through that area is slow. Winghaven out through 364 as well. That's road work related going the opposite direction, but it looks like there is a crash eastbound. In fact, they did call out EMS for that just a couple of minutes ago as well. More volume on southbound 61 from Highway P on down through Wentzville Parkway. There's a couple of slowdowns. Then, like I said, you're running into that backup 364 into the Winghaven area. If you're on eastbound 30, looks still like we have some pretty heavy traffic up the hill from Mauer to 270, northbound 55. There's a little slowdown right around McNutt, and it's heavy Butler Hill, Mattis. It's also starting to slow now from Bayless up to River to Pear. Downtown, we still look okay. There's just a hint of a slowdown just passing Route 3 on westbound 64 as you approach the Poplar Street Bridge. Next update at 6:40 from the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is going to be partly sunny and 82 degrees, and our last cool-ish day of this 5-day forecast because it just gets warmer and then downright hot after this. Tomorrow, near 90, then 92 Thursday, 94 Friday, 97 on Saturday. Right now, it's 49 degrees.
We have video. In some of them, we have evidence, and we have other things as they're all active investigations.
That's St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy responding to the rash of shootings Sunday evening within 1 hour. In all, 9 people were shot, 1 fatally in 4 different incidents.
The shooting in the 4200 block of West Coast Brilliant claimed a 31-year-old man's life. The second incident left a 37-year-old woman and 53-year-old man wounded. 30 minutes later, 5 people were shot in Nebraska and Cherokee in a park. 15 minutes later, a shooting in the 3600 block of Hamilton. A man in his 20s was shot multiple times but survived.
Have you had any communication with the FBI that is supposedly flooding the area with so many FBI people now? And if so, what will go wrong?
They are looking to bring in more, and where we put them, probably strategically, where they can help us is in these strike forces and investigations and help us with some of the violent crime.
Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The Environmental Protection Agency using a new strategy to speed up the cleanup of the Westlake Superfund site. We get more from Michael Calhoun.
The feds are fast-tracking the Westlake landfill cleanup by having crews complete key design and sampling tasks at the same time instead of one before the other. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin says that efficiency is what's going to allow excavation to begin in late 2027. That is a full 2 years ahead of schedule. He talked with Spectrum News and says the push for a faster timeline came after hearing from victims about what he called the severity of illnesses afflicting entire families and neighborhoods near the site that happened earlier this year. He says he now demands a progress report every time he visits the region and has been assured that the project remains on track.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 6:34, your money report next.
Hey guys, Clever here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is Tom Becker with Climate Masters.
We don't just sell air conditioners, we sell comfort. We sell solutions. We sell a job well done, and we fix bad jobs. Climate Masters, because you need someone you can trust. Someone who earns your respect and 5-star reviews. Climate Masters, selling high-quality Carrier air conditioners. Turn to the experts. Climate Masters, quality work for over 40 years. Just type in Climate Masters and give us a call.
Frank, did you get the mail?
Coupon, Medicare, AARP. Oh, wait, this one says open immediately.
First one in the trash.
Every day we're bombarded with messages that we don't care about. Problem is, there might be an important message in there that affects you, like retirement. For example, on September 23rd and 25th, Steve All of the All Financial Group will be hosting a Taxes in Retirement seminar at Stone Summit. From the big beautiful bill to taxes on your Social Security, Steve will cover it. It's a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
What about this coupon for a new lawn service?
We live in a condo.
So?
On the 3rd floor. Mom always said I shouldn't have married you.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult a qualified professional or guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
It is 6:35, and that means it's time for your money report, which is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys.
Good morning. A lot of consumers charged up their credit cards over the summer. Federal Reserve data show consumer borrowing rose in July by the most in 3 months. The jump in credit card balances was the biggest so far this year. Revolving debt, which includes credit cards, increased nearly twice as much as non-revolving debt, which includes auto loans. Temu is hoping to win back American customers with new advertising and deep discounts. The e-commerce platform has slashed the prices on some of its best-selling products by an average of 18%, with some items discounted as much as 60% to offset new tariffs on small packages. Temu has stopped charging buyers import fees that had caused prices to increase. Anchor Packaging, the company that makes those rigid food containers and cling film for the food service, while it's been bought by Georgia Pacific. Anchor Packaging is headquartered in St. Louis, Missouri, and has operations in Arkansas and Wisconsin. The agreement was announced yesterday. Financial details aren't being disclosed just yet. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are visiting with Dr. Premal Thacker, a WashU Medicine gynecologic surgeon at Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. Thacker, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. As we age, sadly, cancer becomes higher on our hit list of things that might occur for us. So it's really important if you have irregular bleeding as a younger woman, that could also be a sign of precancer or cancer as well, because we do see that younger women are also being affected by this. So if you are having any type of irregular bleeding, pelvic pain, discomfort, you really should see your gynecologist. And I think that's the main message, because a lot of women don't continue to seek gynecologic care when they're in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, and don't get their sort of, quote, well woman exams anymore.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, please visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, if you can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence, Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today. 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. BannerConstruction.com.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
Today, the Cards, the Mariners. Emlyn Total Access 745. Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
And don't forget, before that, the Gas House Gang, very popular show, especially on Tuesdays when Ollie Marmol joins us. But Ollie has told us he wants to have a coach with him every Tuesday for the rest of the season. And last week, we made headlines all over St. Louis when Brant Brown came on and started talking about Jordan Walker's preparation and some of the things that he had in mind for the young hitter. Everybody picked up on that story. I'm very curious who Ollie will have on the show today. It's at 12:05 here on KMOX. 6:40 right now. Roger Brands in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, eastbound 64 is pretty busy now, Tom. This traffic reports a service of Saks Financial because of that crash at Winghaven. It's at the end of the Winghaven on-ramp, so basically on the right shoulder. The traffic's backing up from almost Lake St. Louis Boulevard up to it in pockets, and southbound 61 approaching P down to Wentzville Parkway. There's a couple of slow spots to Prospect as well, so very busy over in the Wentzville area. Northbound 270, Sappington to Gravois, north of Big Bend up to Manchester, Clayton Road up to 64. That's all slow. Eastbound 30 backed up Mauer to 270. Northbound 55 slow through McNutt. They were reporting a minor crash there. The right lane south of Butler Hill through Mattis. All lanes Union Road up to River to Pear are backed up, and westbound 64 just a little busy downtown as you approach the Poplar. But other than that, the rest of the highways are looking pretty good so far. But like I said, out west, we got a lot of volume there on 64 because of that crash just east of Winghaven. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Hey, it's Jeff at Saks Financial. I got a free event coming up to maximize your Social Security, September 22nd and 23rd. Come meet me in person and find out how to maximize your Social Security. Sign up at retiresafestl.com/events.
It's 6:41. Let's get you updated on the forecast. Yesterday, I was enjoying an outdoor concert at Tower Grove Park. It was absolutely gorgeous. It's probably 70 degrees and breezy. And I thought, I just want to enjoy every single day like this because Heather's there. These days are not going to last.
No, they are very, very numbered. We're already starting a warm-up. 76 was the official high for yesterday, and we're headed up to 82 for today. That puts us actually back just a couple of degrees below the typical temperature for September 9th. So it's a little bit more what we would expect to have this time of year, but with partly sunny skies, it is still going to be a fairly nice day. Tonight, then, partly cloudy. Our low of 63 is going to be notably milder than it has been for most of the mornings since late last week. We're going to have sunshine then for tomorrow, and then we're really cranking that heat up, heading up to around 90 degrees, up into the low to mid 90s as we have partly to mostly sunny skies for Thursday and Friday. At least it's not going to be too humid with that heat cranking up. The hottest day of this forecast, though, that looks like Saturday. Partly sunny skies. We're headed up to 97. Right now, 53 in St. Peters, 54 in Florissant, and 60 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 6:42. Howard Stern is staying with SiriusXM. The announcement was made on his channel, but not before Stern trolled the media with a story that said he was leaving the satellite broadcaster after 20 years.
The Associated Press, Variety Magazine, and CNBC all fell for it, reporting that Stern was leaving SiriusXM. But it was a prank, pulled off with the help of another SiriusXM host. The AP said Stern was replaced by a flustered Andy Cohen.
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, except that he's not here, and I am.
About 20 minutes into the show, Stern returned and admitted it was all a hoax. He and his merry band of pranksters had fooled the media once again, a media that forgot the old maxim, if your mother says she loves you, get a second source. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Our St. Louis boy Andy Cohen was in on it. 71-year-old Stern's show has been on the satellite broadcasting service since 2006. He signed a 5-year contract in 2020. Didn't talk much about his contract, but he did say he's been talking to SiriusXM about how we go forward in the future.
Now, that was hilarious. Stephen Colbert marking the 10th anniversary of The Late Show with gratitude for his audience and crew.
It doesn't feel like 10 years. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Except for how I feel and how I look.
The Late Show with Stephen Colbert won its first ever Emmy Sunday, less than 2 months after news of the show's cancellation. The Late Show will conclude in May of next year.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Next year marks 60 years since the original series hit the airwaves, changing the landscape of sci-fi forever. And to celebrate, there will soon be even more ways to explore the universe: Legos, a webtoon, podcast, YouTube series for kids, even a float in the Rose Parade. They're going crazy for Star Trek. Season 4 of Star Trek Strange New World ends Thursday night. The new Starfleet Academy TV series will begin early next year. It's 6:45. Cardinal baseball on KMOX tonight. It begins at 8:40 with a 7:45 pregame. Cardinals were defeated last night by the Mariners. Final score was 4-2. The Mariners flipped the game in the 6th inning. They scored 4 runs off the Cardinals bullpen. Gordon Graceffo came in for Miles Michaelis, who actually got it started with a leadoff walk and a base hit after pitching so well for 5 innings. The 6th inning did him in. The Mariners can do this, and they can do it quickly. They looked a little jet-lagged after scoring 18 runs against the Atlanta Braves the day before. They had to fly from Atlanta back up to Seattle. They met the Cardinals there. Cardinals jumped all over them early. Alec Burleson with a home run in the 4th to make it 2-0. But then the floodgates opened and the Mariners scored 4 in the 6th. Their bullpen shut out the Cardinals the rest of the way. They won at 4-2. Cards manager Ollie Marmol, let's listen in. FanDuel Sports Network Midwest.
Hey, navigated it well. It is a tough lineup. He some hard contact the first time through, but led to outs. Then mixed well enough. Sinker and a righty was good. Secondary stuff, the lefties landed it, which helped him out. But at the end of the day, him going a third time through there didn't make a whole lot of sense. Unfortunately, what we brought in didn't work either.
You mentioned pregame that you had a variety of your high leverage relievers down. No Leahy, no O'Brien, no Swanson. How does that impact your decision to bring Miles out for the 6th there?
Yeah, we give him a shot at it once he walks the 9-hole, and then the next guy gets on. We go with Graceffo and try to finish the game with the guys that are available. But yeah, we had several guys down. We knew we took our shot over the last 2 days to beat San Fran and came up on top there. But leading into today, you had the majority of your high leverage guys outside of JoJo down.
We'll hear more from Marmol today on the Gas House Gang at 12:05. He'll bring a coach with him to the show. Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji, and I will carry it today on X, on YouTube, and on Facebook, and, of course, right here on KMOX. The Missouri Tigers ranked 25th in the nation in the latest AP college football poll, and coming off a 42-31 win over Kansas. They are getting some buzz in the SEC, as is this man, wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr. on KMOX. He's a St. Louisan, 10 catches, 126 yards, and a touchdown against the Jayhawks.
Man, the sideline, everyone was just poised. Everyone was calm, but everyone was moving with a sense of urgency. The energy definitely had to be brought up. Momentum had to be flipped. And we told each other we just got to play complementary football. Get a stop, we'll score. Defense get a stop, offense will score. So we just kept uplifting each other and just being there for one another. I didn't see no complaining. No one blaming each other.
That's after Mizzou fell behind 21-6. Coleman and the Tigers blitzed them from there, came back 3 different times in the game, won at 42-31. They host Louisiana this weekend, while Illinois, ranked 9th in the country, will host Western Michigan. Mizzou, by the way, landed a big-time basketball recruit yesterday, 5-star power forward Tony Bryant out of Zephyr Hills, Florida. I'm Tom Ackerman, Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to you by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. This is a good time of year to get some landscaping done, and take a look at stlcompost.com. stlcompost.com. What you'll find is a variety of different kinds of mulches and soils to choose from, compost. They have 9 different locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting. And fall is a beautiful, beautiful season here in St. Louis. And at St. Louis Composting, they know that. So it's a great time to go to stlcompost.com and get a look at some of the things that they offer, which is top dressing with superchar. It helps break up those tough clay soils and improves water retention, adds organic matter back into the ground. Fall is one of the best times to be outside, so spruce up your yard and garden with St. Louis Composting, stlcompost.com.
At California Psychics, we know that sometimes you can wake up thinking,
I don't know if I'm in the right career, or the right relationship.
But whatever your life dilemma, at California Psychics, we'll give you the guidance you need to feel certain about your life choices. And because we only connect you with the very best, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra, is back. Next stop, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Arnold, Thursday, September 18th. A limited number of fans can get an autographed picture from City SC player Timo Bunkardel. Win great prizes, enjoy great food and a cold drink. Hot Shots in Arnold is the place to be Thursday, September 18th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's already 6:50. Good morning, everyone. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterrey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, police are still out there on the shoulder, Debbie, of eastbound 64 east of Winghaven. This traffic reports the service of the Woodlands of Arnold Senior Living. That's a crash. EMS was on the scene earlier, but they already left. Eastbound 64, again, it's the end of the Winghaven on-ramp, but everybody's slowing for a look. Southbound 61, you're busy from Highway P down to 64, and eastbound 64 is slow, Prospect to the Boulevard, and then jammed from 364 to just east of Winghaven. And westbound 64 from Lake St. Louis Boulevard out to Prospect, backed up. It looks like that's a moving roadwork operation for you at that location. Eastbound 70, a little slow. Wentzville Parkway into Highway Z, but after that, it looks good. If you're on northbound 270, there's a slowdown as you merge on from 55. There's slow traffic, Sappington through Gravois, Big Bend, all the way up to Ladue. South 270 is a little busy at Ladue. Northbound Tesson Ferry, you're backed up from Wells all the way to Kennerly, stop-and-go pockets. 30's busy at Mauer. We have a crash I mentioned earlier, North 55 at McNutt. You're jammed midway back to Highway A. And then you still have slow traffic, Butler Hill, Mattis, and backed up north of Union up to River to Pear. And westbound 64 a little slow, west of 3rd Street to the Poplar as well downtown. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The Woodlands of Arnold campus offers skilled rehab, a beautiful assisted living community, and a secure memory care to keep your loved ones safe. Check us out at rspseniorliving.com. That's rspseniorliving.com.
Sunny and warm today, high 82. Patchy clouds, low 63 tonight. No rain in this forecast, and it's going to be hot. Sunny and hotter tomorrow, high near 90. Thursday and Friday, the grass is going to get crunchy out there. High 92 Thursday, 94 Friday, 97 on Saturday. Currently, it's 50 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:52. Missouri House members giving initial approval to making it harder to pass constitutional amendments proposed through initiative petition. They're also debating the new congressional map that would give Republicans more control. Republican State Rep John Simmons of Washington in Franklin County began listing off his reasons why they should follow President Trump's lead before being told to stick to the topic at hand.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. President Trump's accomplishments or lack thereof are not relevant to the current topic at hand. Please keep your sentiments relating to congressional districts.
Gentlemen, please remain germane to the topic. Continue.
I was about to get there, Mr. Speaker. So what that leadership showed is he discovered that Republicans, whether we like it or not, we've been unilaterally, we have disengaged and disarmed ourselves in this redistricting process.
Simmons did file an amendment to the initiative petition changes that would require just 3/4 of congressional districts vote yes on a ballot measure instead of every single district. That amendment was not presented.
After securing a change of venue, could attorneys for St. Louis County Executive Sam Page get his criminal case dropped? In a conversation with KMOX, attorney Matthew Radefeld says they want to have a discussion with newly sworn-in Attorney General Catherine Hanaway.
To present to her maybe some information that they may not have as of yet, because from our understanding, there was some information that may not have been presented to the grand jurors, and we're hoping that we can present that information to Catherine.
KMOX followed up asking if he would share this information, but Radefeld declined. He said there is no meeting scheduled with Hanaway.
The Trump administration pushing to clear homeless encampments across the country. How do most Americans feel about that? Here's Stacey Lynn of CBS.
According to a new AP NORC survey, about 43% of U.S. adults favor their removal, while about 25% oppose it. They found a political divide as well. Most Republicans, 64%, were in favor of removing the encampments, while independents and Democrats were more mixed.
The poll also found most U.S. adults think individual choices are to blame for homelessness and poverty.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
Former Cardinal Todd Zeal turns the big 6-0 today. Todd is 60. Cardinals reliever JoJo Romero is 29. This guy is 59.
Could I maybe get that headset, please?
Do not raise your voice to me, sir.
I wasn't raising my voice.
Okay, just calm down.
I am calm. I just want my headset.
That's Adam Sandler. He is 59 today. Hugh Grant.
Listen, I'm really, really touched, but you must be joking.
He's 65. Michael Bublé
And in this crazy life
is 50 today.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Laura Slay, also Ann Jenkins. We got that one yesterday. Sorry. Virginia Egnatz, Kim Murray, Pat Beckner, Sarah Thompson. Also, Nancy Brand, happy 88th from your family, and happy birthday wishes to Carrie Ann Dugan.
This is the best birthday ever.
Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State. New Missouri customers can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. And when we go live, place just a $5 bet to unlock $300 in bonus bets. Starting November 17th, you can create your DraftKings Sportsbook account in Missouri and get ready for launch day on December 1st. DraftKings Sportsbook brings you everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 and over. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
6:58, Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company's St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, that crash is still on the shoulder, eastbound 64 just east of Winghaven, southbound 61 from Highway P down onto 64 to about the boulevard's busy, but it's jammed 364 through that Winghaven area. Northbound 55, that crash at McNutt on the shoulder, traffic's jammed from Highway A up to that point in Union Road up to River to Pear. North 270 slow, 55 to Gravois, and Big Bend all the way to Ladue. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is Tuesday, September the 9th. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
Healthcare startups come to St. Louis.
Thank you very much for inviting me to move to St. Louis. The weather today certainly makes that very tempting.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
I'm Sean Malone, the attorney representing St. Louis County Executive Sam Page speaks to KMOX and previews their defense. I've got that story coming up.
The head of the EPA says hearing from victims of contamination at the Westlake landfill prompted him to fast-track the site's cleanup.
DNA testing underway to help solve a 45-year-old cold case in Ellisville.
We'll get a high of 82 today. It's 7 o'clock.
Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Breaking News. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is the CBS News World News Roundup, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin in Washington, where an image of what Democrats say is a crude note from President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein is now public. The letter is framed by the outline of a naked woman and comes from a birthday book compiled for the late child sex offender in 2003. Correspondent Scott McFarland begins our coverage.
The Republican-led U.S. House Oversight Committee obtained the card and a series of other records under subpoena from the Epstein estate Monday. Democrats on the panel first released an image of it and noted the birthday message closes with a reference to a wonderful secret. Trump has repeatedly denied making the sketch or the card.
I'm Vicki Barker in London. President Trump's not the only high-profile figure alleged to appear in Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday book. In his letter, the British politician Peter Mandelson, now Britain's ambassador to the U.S., referred to the billionaire, still 5 years away from his conviction for pedophile crimes, as his, quote, best pal. A spokesman will say only that Mandelson long ago expressed his regrets that he ever met Epstein.
The Supreme Court has given the green light for roving immigration raids in Los Angeles, and Mayor Karen Bass isn't happy about it.
This isn't just an attack on the people of Los Angeles. This is an attack on every person in this city and in every city in our country.
Critics say it amounts to racial profiling. The Department of Homeland Security says it's also sending ICE agents into Illinois to target undocumented immigrants with criminal records. Firefighters in California are rushing to try to save a grove of giant sequoia trees in the Sierra National Forest. They're now threatened by a wildfire that scorched almost 55,000 acres east of Fresno. Reading and math scores for high school seniors have taken a nosedive. Correspondent Michael Wallace has the details.
The National Assessment of Educational Progress says reading scores were the worst since 1992. 1/3 of seniors tested last year did not have basic reading skills. Math scores fell to a 20-year low, with more than half of 12th graders falling below the basic level. The scores are the latest indication of how students are struggling after the pandemic and remote learning. Kids are also reading less as they spend more time on screens and social media.
Forbes out with a new list of the richest people in the world. Elon Musk on top with a net worth of $428 billion. Number 2, Oracle's Larry Ellison, followed by Meta's Mark Zuckerberg. Forbes' Chase Peterson Whithorn says the tech execs have pushed out celebrities who once dominated the category.
Most famous of all is definitely Donald Trump. The president is worth $7.3 billion. He ranks number 201 on the list, so he's right around the middle here of the list.
Dow futures up 46. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Here's the tale of the daily med fill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings Wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. Deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
It is 7:04. Cloudy skies. It's 49 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We'll get you the forecast. Things are going to start warming up as the week moves along. The news sponsored by the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. With his trial set to be moved to Greene County, how does St. Louis County Executive Sam Page plan to mount his defense?
In a conversation with KMOX, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page's attorney, Matthew Radefeld, said the Proposition B mail at the center of a criminal indictment was approved by legal counsel and was intended to be informative. However, reading the flyer, it is clearly against Proposition B without telling voters to outright vote no. I asked Radefeld if that matters.
Nothing on there that would seem to be persuasive, but rather actually telling the voter what it means to vote a particular way on Proposition B.
He also claimed nothing in the flyer was incorrect. Critics have argued the line about how a yes vote on Proposition B could empower the county council to fire the chief of police is a falsehood. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Debate picks up in Missouri special session.
Slicing through the center of Kansas City does nothing to improve the state of Missouri anywhere. In fact, it really seems to be just a way to silence the voices of the people in the place that I call home.
That's State Representative Patty Manser of Jackson County, where Kansas City is located, speaking against the plan to redraw Missouri's congressional maps. State Rep Richard West of St. Charles County spoke in favor of changing the initiative petition process.
There's a lot of fear-mongering going on here today about we're going to take away the vote of the citizens. What we are doing is we're making it hard. You've heard it today, but I'm going to say it again. We're making it hard to change our state's constitution, which our state's constitution should be protected.
The House gave initial approval to part of the package. All the components need a final House vote before going to the state Senate.
Republican Catherine Hanaway was sworn into office yesterday as Missouri's 45th Attorney General. She tells Missouri Net her office will likely defend the state if a lawsuit is filed about new districts.
I don't think there's any constitutional prohibition on redistricting mid-decade. What the Constitution says is, they have to be as compact as possible and as clearly reflect the population as possible. I'm not so sure that 2020 census clearly reflected the population.
Many Democrats cite the state constitution as saying congressional redistricting is supposed to occur every 10 years after new census data is distributed.
Why did a doctor decide to leave the hospital and go to a startup?
I realized that I wasn't going to be able to solve the problem from inside my NICU.
That's Dr. Isabel von Cohorn, former practicing neonatologist, now chief medical officer of Pomelo Care, which focuses on new mothers and their children.
Really, what we're here to do is connect and really build more of a presence in St. Louis, especially with payer partners, employers, really anyone who is interested in improving the health of women and children.
And she says there's more of a trust these days in doctors over the phone.
I think there's been such an acceptance now of virtual care, and now there's really a demand for it.
She got an introduction to St. Louis at the Health Innovation Summit. You can hear more in depth at 8:41 this morning. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A replica rail car like the ones the Nazis used to transport millions of Jewish people to concentration camps will be at the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum.
It's a real-size train car, which means it will be in our parking lot.
The museum's Amy Lutz says it's a traveling exhibition called Hate Ends Now. People can go inside to see a video and photo presentation with survivor testimony of the devastating consequences of hatred. But it's only going to be there for 5 days, tomorrow through Sunday.
When I say this is a limited time, it's a limited time. Actually, one of our days, Sunday the 14th, is already sold out.
Tickets can be purchased online at stlholocaustmuseum.org. The Hate Ends Now exhibit was made possible by Gloria Kaplan Feldman and her family. Gloria herself is a Holocaust survivor and wanted to find a way to share her experience of being forced into a cattle car as a child.
It is now 7:08. We're going to get you updated on traffic and weather in just a moment. But first, from the business desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. St. Luke's Hospital in Chesterfield is building a new emergency department, and they received a $25 million gift to get it done. $15 million of that came from the Crawford Taylor Foundation. Joanne Taylor Kindle says St. Luke's has been part of their family story for generations.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You've got a ton of equity in your home. You're sitting on a gold mine, and you could do so much with all that cash, like travel, invest it, or pay off debt, but you can't touch it unless you sell your home. But you really don't want to move. And besides, homes are sitting on the market for a long time these days. You're trapped, right? Well, not with TrueHold. With TrueHold, you can cash out your equity in as little as 30 days. And listen, you don't have to move. You can stay in the home you love as a renter. So that's TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. You cash out your entire home's value and stay put. TrueHold even covers property taxes, property insurance, and essential repairs. So imagine using that equity to travel, invest, or pay off debt and stay in your home. It's brilliant, especially in this slow market. You get an all-cash offer now by calling 1-855-300-9993. You can also visit TrueHold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's check in with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, that crash is still on the right shoulder. Police are still there on eastbound 64 just east of Winghaven. Southbound 61's backed up about midway down from P to Wentzville Parkway onto 64, and it's pockets all the way into that crash scene. In fact, it's a solid jam from 364 through that point just east of Winghaven. Eastbound 70, that's bogged down. David Hochul into Wentzville Parkway to Highway Z from A all the way into about Highway K, just some volume and heavier traffic through there. Northbound 270, busy as you ramp on from 55. It's slow through Gravois, and it's slow again north of 44 all the way to Ladue. South 270, south of Olive Duluth, starting to pick up a little traffic there. Eastbound 30 still slow, Mauer to 270. Tesson Ferry's doing better, just a shorter backup approaching Kennerly, not too much there. They cleared that crash north 55 at McNutt. There's still a jam north of A to McNutt, however. The right lanes are still busy at Butler Hill. All lanes from the Union Road overpass up to River to Pear are bogged down. Westbound 44 at Grand, we had an incident. And there's a little delay there. Westbound 64 approaching Route 3 to the Poplar is slow. Next update at 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, partly sunny skies today. We'll have a warmer afternoon with a high of 82, patchy clouds and a low of 63 tonight, then mostly sunny tomorrow. It'll be turning hotter with a high near 90. Hot but not too humid Thursday, partly to mostly sunny with a high of 92 degrees. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now it's cloudy, 49 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
Excavation of the Westlake landfill is now slated to begin 2 years ahead of schedule in 2027. The head of the EPA, Lee Zeldin, says the decision to fast-track the project was prompted by powerful testimony he heard earlier this year from victims of contamination. He told Spectrum News that the local community is really happy about the expedited timeline and confirmed that pre-construction work is already ramping up. Zeldin added that he is personally staying on top of the project's progress.
Investigators are hoping that DNA evidence can help solve a 45-year-old cold case in Ellisville.
The murder of Margaret Walsh is the only homicide on record in Ellisville, dating back to 1980. A night manager at a Dairy Queen killed execution style after closing time. Former Chief of Police of St. Louis County, Tim Fitch, is heading up the cold case unit for Ellisville PD. Says the department back in 1980 did a good job of preserving the clothes, and they even have the bullet she was killed with, so they can run ballistics on that.
We've reviewed thousands of pages of reports, re-examined physical evidence, and are applying forensic techniques that simply didn't exist 45 years ago. We've reopened this case with fresh eyes and new tools. We're also revisiting witness statements and re-engaging the community, because time can change what people remember.
They do have evidence that's never been released to the public, which is also being sent in for DNA testing. Outside Ellisville City Hall, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
We told you about the open-air drug market at the park at 14th and Pine being temporarily closed. Our Maria Kina talked with St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy about future plans.
Chief Tracy says along with homeless issues come narcotics issues.
Mental health issues, and you also have addiction issues. And sometimes when you start breeding everything together, you start to see some of the nuisance problems, and then you start to see crime, and they start to victimize each other.
As KMOX reported, the park is closed until September 14th. But then what?
We want to make sure we're controlling these areas and start taking about some of these areas. We have so many calls for service. We're trying to prevent our resources from being overused.
Tracy says police are going to have to work with Mayor Spencer's administration and other departments and get the people the help they need. Maria Akina, KMOX News.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. Last night in Seattle, the Cardinals had a 2-0 lead on a home run by Alec Burleson, but that went up in smoke as the Mariners were able to put up 4 runs, all in the 6th inning, to win 4-2.
Young right-hander Brian Wu was very good for the Mariners. They have outstanding pitching. Not a lot of hits for the Mariners, but they scored all their runs in 1 inning, a 4-run inning. But the Mariners have a tremendous offense. Miles Michaelis was really good for the Cardinals. The loss went to Gordon Graceffo in relief of Miles.
The Cardinals had only 3 hits, and they were 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position.
Too many strikeouts, not enough balls in play.
And strikeouts, 9 for Wu, 2 for Brash, 1 for Bizzardo, 2 for their closer Munoz. The win to Wu, the loss to Graceffo, and Munoz saved his 33rd. We're on the air tonight beginning at 7:45 Central. Matthew Liberatore against George Kirby.
With more, KMOX's Matt Pauley.
Cardinals starting pitcher Miles Michaelis comes into yesterday's 4-2 loss to the Mariners on the heels of back-to-back solid starts. But both of those are at home, where his numbers are drastically better than his road stats. Michaelis pitches well against the Mariners, going into the 6th inning and leaving with a 2-0 lead. Manager Oliver Marmol is happy with the performance.
Navigated it well. It is a tough lineup. He some hard contact the first time through, but led to outs, and then mixed well enough. Sinker and a righty was good. Secondary stuff, the lefties landed it, which helped them out. But at the end of the day, going a third time through there didn't make a whole lot of sense. Unfortunately, what we brought in didn't work either.
With many of the team's high leverage arms not available, Gordon Graceffo enters trying to hold on to that 2-0 lead. However, he gives up 4 runs, 2 of which were inherited runners. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Player to bank on, brought to you by Community America Credit Union, invested in you. J.J. McCarthy threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdown passes and ran for another in his long-awaited NFL debut, and the Vikings rallied for a season-opening 27-24 win over the Bears. Chicago's Caleb Williams had his first career rushing touchdown, threw for a score in Ben Johnson's first game as the Bears coach. McCarthy, though, was the one delivering down the stretch, struggled through the first 3 quarters, came alive in the second quarter, and the former Michigan star is being counted on in Minnesota. He had his rookie season derailed by a knee injury, but here he is in year number 2. Mizzou landed a big-time basketball recruit yesterday, 5-star power forward Tony Bryant out of Zephyr Hills, Florida. Mizzou right now considered to have the second-ranked recruiting class in America. By the way, SLU basketball was picked to win the Atlantic 10 by Blue Ribbon magazine. That is a preseason college basketball magazine. That is a good sign. We'll see what the others say about SLU moving forward. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Billikens and the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
That baby's gone! Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your home of the Cardinals.
That ball was mashed.
And there are more ways to watch this season. Holy cow! Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream the Cardinals without blackouts.
How about that play?
Or watch through a TV provider,
Incredible.
including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more.
He got it.
Learn more at cardinals.com/TV.
Ball game. It couldn't have worked out any better for the Cardinals.
We know you're uncertain about psychics. Is this fortune teller you found on a forum legit?
Your one true love is...
me! That's why California Psychics reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. New customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. So experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Get insights on the go. Download the California Psychics app today.
You know, I talk all the time about the good people at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Let's talk about the products for a minute. The wood fences, beautiful cedar fences at Chesterfield Fence and Deck, located in Chesterfield Valley, but serving the entire St. Louis metro area. Vinyl fences, those are low maintenance, a lifetime product in a variety of colors. Aluminum fences, steel and chain link fences as well. Now they have decks, beautifully natural cedar decks, and the Vecca deck vinyl decking, the strongest deck in the industry with no maintenance. And their four most popular colors are espresso, hazelnut, cayenne, and storm. And the newest color, pewter. Pewter is a gorgeous gray color that has beautiful variation throughout for a more natural look. Plus, they have custom sunrooms, screen rooms, pergolas, patios, retaining walls. They have it all at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. They have an A+ rating from the BBB. And if you mention me, Tom Ackerman, you'll receive a special discount for the month of September. That's 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Debbie Monterrey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:20 and time for us to get you another check of the roadways and the weather. The weather is really heating up. I imagine traffic might be heating up too at this hour. Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it's definitely busy, Debbie, but good news on eastbound 64. The police finally pulled away. There's no longer any flashing lights on the shoulder eastbound 64 east of Winghaven. It's still heavy, though, back from about Prospect. Slow at a couple of spots, but it jams 364 through Winghaven at this time. Eastbound 70, David Hokelund to Wentzville Parkway from 64 all the way in through TR Hughes. It's busy. It's slower again, 94 into the Rock Road. South 270, Page down to Ladou's busy. North 270 is your ramp on from 55 through Gravois, and then 44 to Ladou. That's all slow. Eastbound 30, delays at Mauer. If you're on the run on 55, the right lanes are a little busy at Butler Hill. Union Road up to River to Pear. There's a little slowdown at Virginia. Heavy traffic. Northbound Telegraph, Christopher up to Pottle. Still working that crash. Westbound 44 west of Grand. In the left lanes, traffic's jammed. West of Jefferson approaching Grand, and westbound 64 west of 3rd Street to the Poplar is heavy downtown. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Weather forecast, AccuWeather's Heather Zaire says partly sunny with a warmer afternoon, a high of 82 today, patchy clouds, low 63 tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, hotter, a high near 90. Thursday and Friday, hot, not too humid, partly to mostly sunny, high Thursday 92, Friday's high 94. Oh my, Saturday, high 97, close to the record of 100 set in 1939. Currently, we have a partly cloudy sky here in downtown St. Louis. It's 51 degrees. And the weather is sponsored by Dave Sinclair Lincoln St. Peter's, hosting free prostate screenings with Urology of St. Louis. Walk into Dave Sinclair Lincoln St. Peter's September 10th from 4 to 6:30 p.m. for a blood draw. Remember, that's Wednesday, September 10th, tomorrow, from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at Dave Sinclair Lincoln St. Peter's.
It is 7:23. That birthday message that President Trump allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein was part of a series of new documents released by a House committee. It includes the drawing in the shape of a nude woman and makes references to secrets and, quote, certain things the two men have in common. It also contains Donald Trump's well-recognized signature. It was found among Epstein's personal effects in the so-called birthday book containing notes from his friends. In July, Trump sued the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion over the reporting on that birthday card.
House Oversight Committee Democrats have released a sexually suggestive letter to Jeffrey Epstein, purportedly signed by Donald Trump.
This is not a hoax. This is real. There are real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise. And the perpetrators are being protected because they're rich and powerful and political donors to the establishment here in Washington, D.C.
It was part of a 2003 album compiled for the alleged sex trafficker's birthday. The letter Democrats released looks exactly as described in a Wall Street Journal report that the president dismissed as defamatory and sued the paper for $10 billion. It includes the words "Happy Birthday" and "May every day be another wonderful secret."
This is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied.
For weeks, the president's denied writing it
Somebody could have written a letter and used my name, but that's happened a lot.
and says he did not create the drawing of a curvaceous woman surrounding the letter.
I don't do drawings, but I'm not a drawing person. I don't do drawings of women, that I can tell you. They say there's a drawing of a woman, and I don't do drawings of women.
Democrats say they got a copy of the album as part of documents from Epstein's estate. Sagar Meghani, Washington.
A deadly stabbing of a Ukrainian refugee in North Carolina last month has sparked outrage among elected officials, including President Trump, after local authorities released video of the attack on the Charlotte area transit system.
23-year-old Irina Zarutska came to the United States for a better life in 2022 after Russia invaded Ukraine. She was stabbed to death the night of August 22nd while riding the Lynx Blue Line in Charlotte. The brutal killing was caught on surveillance video and is hard to watch. The suspect sat behind the woman on the train for several minutes before standing up and repeatedly stabbing her. Some local media outlets held off on showing the footage because of its graphic nature. President Trump reacted to the murder and called the alleged killer a madman.
Lunatic just got up and started. It's right on the tape. Not really watchable because it's so horrible, but just viciously stabbed. She's just sitting there.
He said there are evil people in our country.
We have to be able to handle that. If we don't handle that, we don't have a country.
34-year-old DeCarlos Brown Jr. was arrested when he got off the train. He's charged with murder and has a lengthy rap sheet to include larceny and breaking and entering charges. He also spent 5 years behind bars for robbery with a dangerous weapon back in 2015. Residents concerned and calling for more security on public transit.
This is something that I think a lot of people who have been invested or need to take our public transportation system probably have seen come to twice.
This frequent rider spoke with WBTV in Charlotte.
This is why we have elected representatives. So I would encourage them to get out in front and again, really make a comprehensive investment in our public transportation system when it comes to safety and security.
Local officials promising to boost security on trains. And North Carolina Governor Josh Stein said this week that he was appalled by the murder. I'm Clayton Neville.
It is 7:27. The time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman. Your garage door is always there for you. Are you there for your garage door? Rain or shine, it's going to be there. It's going to take that beating from the rain and the hail and everything else and the cold weather in the winter. Are you taking your garage door for granted? I don't know if you are, but if you are, it's good to think about what you could do for it. Your garage door is right there. Garage doors can be tuned up by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis very easily. Doesn't matter what brand you have. Maybe the old weather stripping needs to be replaced. It's an easy job for them. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. Same-day service as well. 314-781-5200. 314-781-5200. Or online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. It's the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is the company to trust to get it done. And always look for the red ribbon, because there are a lot of copycats. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been here since 1926. OverheadDoorSt.Louis.com, the genuine, the original.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Mason Wynn of the Cards. Community America asked me to tell you what it feels like on Profit Payout Day, when our members get a portion of the profits. I'm thinking it probably feels like opening day. Exciting, new, or even better, I bet it feels like playing the star shortstop who turns a game-winning double play. And the fans go wild. They ask for selfies with you and autographs. You get a lifetime supply of free stadium hot dogs. Yep, that's basically what it feels like when you get your profit payout. Community America Credit Union, invested in you.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, if you can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence, Banner is an elite preferred James Hardy contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today. 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. BannerConstruction.com.
It is 7:30, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we've got some sunshine through the clouds and 50 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We have traffic. Roger Brand checking it out. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're busy on the highways if you're headed out and getting on the roads. In fact, I'm still looking at least the left lane. It's hard for me to tell looking through the traffic, but they're still working this crash westbound 44 west of Grand, so there's a bit of a jam up as you get through the area. More of just, I guess, a slowdown really, but it's still delayed through the area. Westbound 64 from the Science Center headed out through Big Bend's a little busy. Coming the other way, eastbound 64, that begins on southbound 61 north of Wentzville Parkway all the way up to 364. It's still jammed from 364 through Winghaven from the earlier crash. Busy through the Chesterfield Parkways and Lindbergh through the Interbelt. South 170 bogs down at Delmar. South 270 Dorset to Ladou's busy. North 270 backed up as you ramp on from 55. Then it's pockets of heavy traffic, especially 44 through Doherty Ferry, but heavy all the way to Ladue. Eastbound 30 backed up, Mauer to 270. Northbound 55 has cleared out since they cleared the crash at McNutt. The right lanes are still slow. South of Butler Hill to 270. Union Road up to River to Pear. Telegraph from Christopher up to Pottle. Looks like a pretty solid jam right now, unfortunately for you there. And eastbound Highway 70, David Hokel Parkway all the way into almost 79. It's slow. 370 to Cave Springs and 94 into the Rock Road. After that, even 364 from 64 through Gudermuth is kind of busy. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
All right, it's going to be one nice day today, and then it starts getting downright hot for September, for any time. Partly sunny today, 82. Tomorrow near 90, 92 Thursday, 94 Friday, 97 on Saturday. Right now it is 50 degrees.
It's 7:32. The head of the EPA says hearing from victims of contamination at the Westlake landfill prompted him to fast-track the site's cleanup. Here's KMOX's Michael Calhoun.
Westlake landfill remediation is now on an accelerated timeline with excavation set to begin in late 2027. That is 2 years ahead of schedule. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin says he was compelled to speed up the work after hearing powerful testimony from local victims earlier this year. In comments to Spectrum News, Zeldin says the community is, quote, really happy to see the timeline expedited. He confirms that pre-construction work is currently ramping up, and Zeldin tells Spectrum that he personally stays on top of the project's progress.
The Missouri House gave initial approval to a bill to make it harder for voters to amend the state constitution through the amendments. House members began debating as well on redistricting.
This is insidious
and it's outrageous.
That's State Representative David Tyson Smith, a Democrat from Columbia and Boone County, which would be chopped up by the new congressional map. It says the issues are connected.
It is coupled with redistricting, because we're going to redistrict, we're going to lose a congressional seat, and then we're going to kill the initiative petition process so the voters can't undo the damage we're doing with redistricting. That's what it's about.
State Representative Brian Seitz, a Republican from Taney County, defends changing the initiative petition process.
What this HJR does, it ensures what the voters want: a 50+1 ability in each of the congressional districts to change the most important document in Missouri apart from Scripture.
I'm Maria Kane with what the St. Louis police chief is saying about a rash of shootings over the weekend.
That's coming up after your money report at 7:34.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
It is 7:35. This is Total Information AM, and time for your money report from Bloomberg, sponsored by Busey Bank.
Good morning. The makers of the Monopoly board game are making a move. Hasbro is relocating its headquarters to Boston from Pawtucket, Rhode Island, in an effort to boost the city's struggling business district. The company will base the primary headquarters for its toys, board games, and licensing businesses, and a majority of its corporate operations at a recently constructed facility in Boston's Seaport District. About 700 employees will move by the end of next year. If you're looking for a job, the Bureau of Labor Statistics could use some help. A third of the high-level positions at the agency are vacant, according to the website. A range of leadership positions that oversee various aspects of employment statistics and regional field operations sit empty. Sources tell Bloomberg many of those senior staffers just recently took the Trump administration's deferred resignation offers. And the price of gold has hit another record. Traders say the rally is being fueled by bets on a series of Federal Reserve interest rate cuts by the end of the year. Traders have priced in at least 2 rate cuts, starting with an expected quarter-point reduction next week. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the Our Idea is Ready to Launch vision. This is the Create Great Jobs vision. This is the We Need More Space vision. This is Busey, where your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. Their max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey guys, Glover here. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free from Universal Windows Direct. No interest for 3 whole years. Call 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Celebrate the month of September with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning as well. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of these huge savings. Spell it forward, spell it backwards, always spells the same, Zero Res.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Today, the Cards, the Mariners.
Cameron Total Access 745.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's 7:39. Within 1 hour, Sunday evening, 9 people had been shot, 1 fatally in 4 different shootings.
The St. Louis Police Chief Robert Tracy says the incident happened around 7:30 following an argument that left a 37-year-old woman injured and a 53-year-old man with a graze wound to the head. By 8:10, police responded to another shooting at Cherokee in Nebraska in the park that injured 5.
Located 1 person who had been shot. 2 area hospitals alerted us that they have received additional gunshot victims who were privately transported. In all, 5 men were shot, ranging from ages 20 to 67. A 33-year-old man is in critical condition.
15 minutes later, a shooting in the 3600 block of Hamilton left a man in his 20s injured. Then 5 minutes later, in the 4200 block of Code Brilliant, a 31-year-old man shot who died at the scene. As of now, Tracy does not believe the shootings are related. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
It is 7:40. Let's get you updated on traffic and weather. It's a beautiful morning, a little on the chilly side, but that'll be coming to an end soon. Roger Brand is joining us. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, lots of traffic out there, Debbie. No surprise this time of day. The traffic reports the service of Saks Financial backed up eastbound 70 David Hochul into Wentzville Parkway, but it's still slow all the way in through TR Hughes and 94 all the way into the Rock Road. 364 approaching Bryan Road most of the way to Mid Rivers, across the Veterans Bridge to 141 and Bennington to 270 crowded. Eastbound 64 Prospect up toward Lake St. Louis Boulevard, still a jam from 364 to Winghaven, slow east of there for a little ways, coming out of the valley through to about Timberlake, Spady all the way through the Innerbelt. South 170 bogs down at Olive. Westbound 64 Kings Highway through Big Bend's busy. South 270 north of Dorset to Ladue. North 270 ramping on from 55 to Ladue. Slow the whole way. Eastbound 30, West Watson to 270. Northbound 55. The right lane still slow. Butler Hill to 270. All lanes coming up through Rivas Barracks through Virginia. Some heavy stuff. Telegraph still backed up. Christopher most of the way to Pottle. Downtown, westbound 64, 25th Street to the Poplar slow. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Hey, it's Jeff at Saks Financial. I got a free event coming up to maximize your Social Security, September 22nd and 23rd. Come meet me in person and find out how to maximize your Social Security. Sign up at retiresafestl.com/events.
AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare, this heat that's approaching us, does it come with humidity or can we leave that off the menu?
You know, we actually can just leave that off. No, not ordering any humidity with this particular round of heat. That it will at least be some improvement and kind of a sure sign of fall that we can get this hotter weather without that humidity factoring in. Certainly for today, we've got some pretty nice weather, partly sunny skies, a lot of clouds around that are not going to be accompanied by any kind of rainfall. We're topping out at about 82 degrees. Tonight then, patchy clouds going to still be hanging around, but we'll drop down to 63. And then tomorrow, mostly sunny, and we're starting to really heat things up, heading up to about 90. Hot, but not too humid for Thursday and Friday. Partly to mostly sunny skies with a high of 92 Thursday, 94 Friday, and then up to 97. Still very hot and partly sunny on Saturday, but again, not too humid. Right now, 54 in St. Peters, 55 in Florissant, and 58 downtown at the Arch. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zare on 104.1 FM KMOX.
A small independent music company is getting big attention for buying the rights to the music of a jazz master.
The
The New York Times says Reservoir Media, one of the few music companies led by a female CEO, has purchased majority rights to Miles Davis' catalog ahead of what would have been his 100th birthday. The price not disclosed, but the deal reportedly includes 90% of the musician's publishing rights, as well as an agreement to use Davis' name, image, and likeness. Larger companies like Sony have been behind recent blockbuster deals to buy Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan's music catalogs. Miles Davis died in 1991. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A movie about Miles Davis's romance is already in production.
A new 4-year contract for musicians at the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra has been inked. The agreement between the symphony and the union representing musicians will boost their base pay to $128,000 a year in 2030. The deal also includes a $10,000 pay raise for the first year of the contract, as well as greater flexibility and expansion of community partnership programs, according to the Business Journal. Symphony President Marie-Helene Bernard calls the new agreement an investment in the musicians who are the very heart of the organization.
First Hall & Oates, now the Police. Guitarist Andy Summers and drummer Stuart Copeland are suing former frontman Sting over lost royalties. They say they were promised 15% from some of the music Sting wrote, which is pretty much all of the group's hits. When they first started playing together, the former bandmates did agree to one settlement in 2016 over some fees.
A German man tried but failed carrying a lot of beer.
Oliver Strumfeld's attempt to recapture his Guinness World Record for carrying the most beer steins at once, over 40 meters, were recently shattered. He held the record back in 2017 when he got 29 over the finish line. So this year, he went for 31. But as a crowd cheered him on, several mugs fell and broke, leaving him soaked. But Strumfeld, who's a waiter in a beer tent, is not discouraged. He says he'll try again next year. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Cardinal baseball tonight at 8:40. Matt Pauley will have the pregame at 7:45. He has the very latest on the Redbirds, who dropped one yesterday to the Mariners. Matthew, let's hear it.
The Cardinals get one of their best bats back into the lineup, activating Alec Burleson before the club's 4-2 loss to the Mariners. It was a quiet night for the team, collecting just 3 hits, but both runs score when Burleson hits a 2-run home run, his 17th of the year, giving the team a temporary 2-0 lead. Manager Oliver Marmol is glad to have Burleson back.
Didn't feel on time his first at bat, and then felt on time his next at bat. But yeah, he's a big part of our lineup, man. Having him back in there is a big part of what we've been able to do this year, and having Contreras back tomorrow definitely helps as well.
This was the final game of Wilson Contreras' 4-game suspension. Also, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Arenado, and John King are all scheduled for rehab appearances with AA Springfield this week and could all be back on the Major League roster within the week. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Luther Burden now playing for the Chicago Bears, and that means Mizzou had to figure out a way to replace him. They have done it. Not only is Kevin Coleman Jr. off to a great start and is a St. Louisan, 10 catches, 126 yards at a touchdown against Kansas. He wears Burden's number 3. He's a senior transfer from Mississippi State.
That number right there, number 3, always been a part of who I am, but definitely Luther Burden wearing it and leaving a legacy in it. My thing is I want to leave my legacy in it, but I also have to leave it better than I found it. So that's my thing, just leave it better than I found it. So the next guy that wears that jersey, know the shoes he's stepping into and knowing what he's dealing with, and he needs to leave it better than he found it. But also, we're just trying to carry that St. Louis legacy. You know?
Absolutely.
I always play around and throw that out there and say, the next guy I want to wear the jersey is another St. Louis guy, but he need to be prepared for what comes with it.
And great game for Coleman. By the way, he has a bag of chips on the Schnucks shelves today that resembles that of Luther Burden's hot honey barbecue. It is also available at the Faurot Field concession stands. By the way, Mizzou is going to play South Carolina in 2 weeks. That's either going to be a 6 or a 6:30 game on either ABC or ESPN. The Illinois game at Indiana has been announced, 6:30 for September 20th, a night game in Bloomington, and it'll be broadcast on NBC. Last night, Joe Buck on ESPN had the call of Monday Night Football. Minnesota won it 27-24 over Chicago. Vikings beat the Bears. came back and won it. J.J. McCarthy had a great fourth quarter. Luther Burden, by the way, did have one catch in that game, but he was dropped for a 3-yard loss. Ins and Outs, sponsored by Innsbrook, where every day is the weekend. Innsbrook's a great place before and after a Mizzou game. It's about halfway to Columbia. So I really enjoy getting to Innsbrook and enjoying a nice weekend on a football weekend. We did that last year for the Oklahoma game, so it's a great idea. But it's great all year round. Innsbrook is our summer vacation home. It is in the fall where we like to drop by. People ask sometimes, do you own a place there? No, I rent. And I've been in various locations in Innsbrook, too. There's 7,500 acres to play with, 100 lakes. Innsbrook, where every day is the weekend. Innsbrook-resort.com. All season long, they've sponsored Ins and Outs, and we appreciate them. What a great partner they are. And I have to tell you that from the first day I stepped on the property, I was in love with Innsbrook. Innsbrook-resort.com.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
It's back, and you're invited to join us in Forest Park, September 19th and 20th for the 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend, presented by PNC Bank. Attendance is free, and the number of memories and photos you can capture is endless. Special thanks to New Ground International and Blue Moon Brewing Company. The 53rd Annual Great Forest Park Balloon Race Weekend. For more details, visit the events page at KMOX.com.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
All right, 7:50. Time for an update on your ride in this morning. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's just a busy morning on the highways, Debbie. Right now, we're just looking at a lot of volume. If you're on northbound 270, as you ramp on from 55 all the way up through Ladue, it's busy. South 270, we'll call it north of Dorset down to Ladue, a lot of slow stuff there. Eastbound 70, still bogged down David Hokel into Wentzville Parkway, from Highway A all the way to T.R. Hughes, from 94 all the way into the Rock Road, busy. 364 from 64, most of the way into Mid-Rivers, from 94 Mugi across the Veterans Bridge to 141 and around Bennington. That's all busy. Southbound 61 Wentzville Parkway onto 64, still a little jam at Winghaven, but it remains slow most of the way through Highway K, Annie Guns through Clarkson, and east of 270 all the way through the Interbelt. South 170 bogs down at Olive. Westbound 64, a backup. Looks like we have an incident at Boyle. There's a jam from Grand to there, and then the Science Center jammed out through the city limits. If you're on eastbound 44, east of Lindbergh, all the way into Laclede Station, westbound 44, still working that crash in the left lane, west of Grand, a slow down there. Northbound 55 delays north of Lindbergh in pockets, all the way up through Virginia. And 5570 at 203, 64 at 25th Street. There are heavy pockets headed across the Poplar. Next update at 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, it's going to be hot, Roger. Not today, though. A high of 82. That is certainly tolerable. Patchy clouds, low 63 tonight. Tomorrow, though, mostly sunny, hotter, high near 90. Thursday, Friday is getting pretty hot. 92 Thursday, 94 on Friday. Heather Zaire says humidity won't be coming with this, but, man, Saturday, sunny and hot, high 97. Right now, it is nice and cool out there. 54 in Florissant, 54 in St. Peter's. It's cloudy and 53 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:52. President Trump has called up the National Guard to help with crime fighting in Washington, D.C., is threatening to do so in Chicago. If he deploys the National Guard to Missouri, what does the state's top prosecutor think? Republican Catherine Hanaway was officially sworn into office Monday as Missouri's 45th Attorney General.
Well, I do not believe that bringing them in is unconstitutional, and I would say welcome. We need all the help that we can get fighting violent crime in our cities.
St. Louis is getting one of the largest per capita increases of FBI agents and intelligence workers in the country.
The Department of Homeland Security has announced Operation Midway Blitz, a a ramp up of immigration raids in Chicago following a Supreme Court ruling that overturned a federal judge's order blocking a similar operation in Los Angeles. The court's 6-3 decision, which was unsigned, came with a concurring opinion from Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who cited demographics to support the crackdown. Kavanaugh noted that roughly 10% of LA's population, or 2 million people, are in the country illegally. These efforts in Chicago coincide with President Trump's promise to deploy the National Guard to address the city's homicide rate, despite opposition from Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Speaking with average Chicagoans, they find it's not always all or nothing when it comes to President Trump's stance on crime and immigration. Here's WBBM's Brandon Eisen.
Do you agree with the president that Chicago needs federal intervention on crime?
I do. Many of the people downtown that we ask about President Trump's continued threats to send troops to Chicago and ramp up immigration enforcement wish to remain anonymous. Most don't even want to answer at all. When it comes to these topics, though, we do find that people might want all or none of what the president proposes. And some Chicagoans will pick and choose.
I feel like this is America, a land of the free, and that they should let the immigrants in.
Dorian Johnson, who was with Michael Brown Jr. during the fatal 2014 police shooting at Ferguson, has died in what the St. Louis County prosecutor is calling an apparent domestic incident. Prosecutor Melissa Price Smith says her office is investigating a claim of self-defense in the case. A suspect was arrested and held, but eventually released after the 24-hour period to file charges expired. An investigation is ongoing.
A new lawsuit targets the assets of a local doctor who's already serving time in federal prison. The Business Journal reports Midland States Bank is suing Sonny Sager and his two companies, trying to collect more than $1 million from two business loans that the bank says were never paid back. Sager operated urgent cares in downtown St. Louis and in Creve Coeur. The civil suit is separate from the criminal case that landed Sager in nearly a 3-year sentence for defrauding Medicare and Medicaid.
It's 7:55.
I'm Michael Calhoun. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
McKelvey Homes, located all throughout the St. Louis area, and I'm going to give you a few examples of where they are. How about the fast-growing area of O'Fallon, Missouri, the estates at Post Farms, an exciting new community that combines small-town charm with big city convenience. Just down the street from the shops at Hawk Ridge, minutes from Heritage of Hawk Ridge Golf Club, this neighborhood, the estates at Post Farms, offers easy access to shopping, dining, recreation, top-tier schools in the Wentzville School District. It's conveniently located near highways 364, 64, and 70, quick commutes to major business hubs. It's an ideal location for both work and play. Strawberry Farms, a vibrant new neighborhood inspired by the historic strawberry fields that once flourished on this land. This is from McKelvey Homes. McKelvey Homes has a Liberty series offering a variety of thoughtfully crafted floor plans. This is St. Charles County Strawberry Farms, top-rated Fort Zumwalt schools, just minutes from shopping and dining as well in the St. Peters area. McKelveyHomes.com. Move up to McKelvey.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com
for an office near you.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Mark Cantor at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I take this very seriously. Mark is a great attorney. He has a great team. He is from St. Louis. He is local. Call 314-628-9999 or visit cantorinjurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
Let's check in at 7:58 with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we still have heavy traffic on eastbound Highway 70. I think we'll call it from right at 64 all the way into TR Hughes. It's a slowdown there. 94 into the Rock Road, the same. It's a little busy around Jennings Station. There was a minor crash there. It's a little congestion at that point. 364 east of Bryan Road through K to about Gudermuth. 94 Mugie to about 141, and then Bennington to 270. There's slow stuff there. Eastbound 64 a little heavy at Prospect. Still a backup from 364 through Winghaven. And then there's slow traffic coming through the Chesterfield Parkways and from Spady all the way through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, still seeing a little congestion. Grand Vanaventer, but it looks like they cleared the incident west of there. Science Center headed out through Hanley, slow. South 270, Dorset down to Ladou's busy. North 270 bogged down. 55 all the way up to Ladue. 44 east of 270 into Elms busy. Northbound 55 north of Lindbergh headed up through Virginia, and westbound 64 at 25th Street, 5570 at 203 headed for the Poplar. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have a mostly cloudy sky, a little sun popping out here in downtown St. Louis. It's 54 degrees. I'm Tom Ackerman, and these are the stories coming up with Megan Lynch.
It's no longer stranger danger we have to teach our kids about. They have to learn to spot tricky people. I'm Megan Lynch. Listen for more after CBS News.
Apple is rolling out new products today. We get a preview.
Investigators take a fresh look at a 45-year-old cold case.
A St. Louis startup providing virtual maternal care for new moms and infants.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zaire. Partly sunny for today. We'll have a warmer high of 82.
The Gas House Gang with Ollie Marmol coming up in the noon hour. It's 8 o'clock.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin in northern Gaza. Cars and trucks stuffed with people and supplies have hit the road en masse after Israel's call for a full evacuation as it gets set to carry out plans for an expanded offensive to take over Gaza City. Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem.
In a statement in Arabic on X, the Israeli army spokesman said the army is determined to defeat Hamas and will operate in the Gaza City area with great force. He said that remaining in the area is extremely dangerous and even gave a phone number to report what he called Hamas roadblocks or attempts to prevent evacuation.
Israel's demolished 50 high-rise buildings in Gaza in the past 2 days, accusing Hamas of using them for military infrastructure. The White House is vehemently denying President Trump was the one who wrote a lascivious birthday note to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003 that's just been released by a House committee, which has also made public other records under subpoena from the Epstein estate. CBS's Bradley Blackburn.
The signature Donald appears at the bottom of a message to Jeffrey Epstein, referencing a wonderful secret within a scrawled outline of a naked female form.
The Supreme Court has given the Department of Homeland Security the go-ahead for roving immigration raids in Southern California. In a fiery dissent, Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote, "We should not have to live in a country where the government can seize anyone who looks Latino, speaks Spanish, and appears to work a low-wage job." She tells CBS Mornings,
"We've decided this one issue, but the case is going back down. There will be further proceedings in the court below. And so you have to rely on the public reading what we write."
New Mexico will become the first state to offer universal child care.
Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham says starting November 1st,
free child care for every New Mexico family.
Until now, only lower-income families have been eligible for free pre-K. Grisham says families will save an average of $12,000 a year. The state will also chip in to build more child care facilities and pay raises for pre-K educators. Crystal Romero owns New Mexico Early Learning Academy.
Our staff are going to be able to receive a living wage that's going to be able to provide a better lifestyle for them.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Americans are weighing in on the administration's push to clear out homeless encampments. CBS's Stacey Lynn.
According to a new AP NORC survey, about 43% of U.S. adults favor their removal, while about 25% oppose it. They found a political divide as well. Most Republicans, 64%, were in favor of removing the encampments, while independents and Democrats were more mixed.
Dow futures up 25. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And Progressive.com.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Tuesday, September 9th. The news is sponsored by St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station. I'm Megan Lynch. Today, the Missouri House could send two bills to the Senate. One would make it harder to change the state constitution by petition. The other would redraw congressional maps to be more favorable to Republicans. State Representative Anthony Ely of Jackson County near Kansas City.
Kansas City and Jackson County function as one community and shouldn't be chopped up into pieces. Let rural Missouri keep districts that fit rural needs, and let the Kansas City area keep one that fits ours.
John Simmons of Washington and Franklin County on whether the map was drawn in Missouri or Washington, D.C.
Governor Keogh's a self-made man. He's not going to take orders from anybody. He's going to do what's right for Missourians, and that's what he did, in concert, I'm sure, with advisors through the Trump administration.
The vote to approve the petition changed 96-55. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page's attorney defends his client for sending a piece of allegedly political mail that's landed him in criminal trouble.
After attorney Matthew Radefeld said nothing on the anti-Proposition B mail was incorrect, KMOX pointed out the line about the county council being able to fire the police chief if it passed was disputed. Radefeld's response?
In order to get the ball rolling, that would all have to start with the county council, and the ultimate decision very well could rely with the police commission.
Radefeld said they also wish to speak with newly sworn-in Attorney General Catherine Hanaway about dropping the case, saying they have information not given to the grand jury. He would not share that information with KMOX. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
St. Louis County prosecutor says the death of Dorian Johnson appears to be a domestic incident involving a claim of self-defense, which is now being investigated. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price-Smith says one suspect had been arrested and detained, but was released when no criminal charges were filed within the 24-hour maximum holding time. Dorian Johnson was the friend of and with Michael Brown Jr. in 2014 when Brown was shot and killed by a former Ferguson police officer. The only homicide in the history of Ellisville remains unsolved.
The cold case dating back to 1980 has now been reopened for the fourth time since the original investigation was closed. In the death of a Parkway South school secretary, Margaret Walsh, who was 47 at the time. She worked nights at the Dairy Queen in Ellisville. All the other employees had left after the shift. She was in the process of leaving when she was shot in the head and killed. Someone got away with $125 that was in the drawer for the next morning. Fast forward to 2025, with the advancement of DNA testing, all of the evidence collected by Ellisville PD will be sent in, including your clothes and the bullet. Former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch is leading the cold case investigation.
What we need people to do is say, you know what, it's 45 years later. Let's give this family some closure. So that's what we're going to ask of you. So here's what you can do. Please call Crime Stoppers, 866-371-TIPS. And if you call, you can leave. We want you to be anonymous, and you will be eligible up to a $5,000 reward.
Outside Ellisville City Hall, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Excavation of the Westlake landfill now slated to begin 2 years ahead of schedule in 2027. The head of the Environmental Protection Agency, Lee Zeldin, says the decision to fast-track the project prompted by powerful testimony he heard earlier this year from victims of contamination. He told Spectrum News that the local community is happy about the expedited timeline and confirmed that pre-construction work is already ramping up. Zeldin added he's personally staying on top of the project's progress. Business Desk, sponsored by Krentz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com. A new 4-year contract for musicians at the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra has been inked. The agreement between the Symphony and the union representing musicians will boost their base pay to $128,000 a year in 2030. The deal also includes a $10,000 pay raise in the first year of the contract, as well as greater flexibility and expansion of community partnership programs. Symphony President Marie-Helene Bernard calls the new agreement an investment in musicians who are the very heart of the organization. The Seattle Mariners beat the St. Louis Cardinals 4-2 last night. Two teams back at it tonight, 8:40 here on KMOX. We'll check traffic and weather together in 2 minutes. It's 8:08.
Tom Ackerman here for Busey Bank and Building Community. We honor the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum for using the history and lessons of the Holocaust to reject hatred, promote understanding, and inspire change. Visitors to the museum are empowered to translate the history of the Holocaust into meaningful action to make our community stronger. Visit the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum in person and online at stlholocaustmuseum.org.
This is Pat Buring, Executive Vice President of Busey. Building Community is creating bridges that bring people together. A visit to the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum reminds us that by rejecting hatred and embracing understanding, everyone feels safe, valued, and connected. A community where everyone thrives is what Building Community is all about. Join Busey. Get involved as we continue building the communities we call home.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Now, the news. At 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 8:10. Let's see how things are moving on the roads on this Tuesday morning. Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, basically just slow traffic out there, Megan. It's been busy this morning, obviously. It's not as bad, but it's still pretty off the pace on eastbound Highway 70 from Highway A and through T.R. Hughes, and from about the Blanchette Bridge into 270. By the time you get to the Rockford, you're in better shape. Southbound 61 still slow. Wentzville Parkway to 64, eastbound 64 from Lake St. Louis Boulevard through Wing Haven's heavy. There's still slow stuff from Spady through the Interbelt. Westbound 64, still a little busy approaching Boyle, right around the Vandeventer overpass, and then Clayton Skinker to Hanley's heavy. South 270, Dorset down to Ladue, still off the pace. North 270 from Tesson Ferry up to Ladue now, so that's a little better. 44, Lindbergh into Elm, that's still busy. And also around the bend, southwest through Hampton, northbound 55. You still got that heavier traffic from about the Union Road overpass up to Virginia, downtown 44 eastbound from Park Avenue past the Poplar, and then out on the westbound 78 Madison. That's all busy. And westbound 64 Baud of the Poplar, still a couple of slowdowns there as well. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We start turning warmer today, partly sunny skies and a high of 82. Then with patchy clouds, we drop down to 63 tonight, turning even hotter tomorrow. Mostly sunny with highs up near 90 degrees. Then partly to mostly sunny and hot, but not too humid on Thursday. The high on Thursday, 92. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Heather Zayer on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We do have cloudy skies right now, 56 degrees in Florissant, 54 in St. Peters. And we've got 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. When you were a kid, you may have been taught about stranger danger, but that is no longer in vogue. Now children are being taught about tricky people. To tell us more, Jamie Crater, licensed clinical social worker and founder of Nature Therapy. Jamie, thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
Why the shift from stranger danger to tricky people?
That's a great question. So it's a little bit outdated to talk about stranger danger for a few reasons. One, we know statistically, kids aren't always harmed or abused by strangers. Oftentimes it's by people that they know, unfortunately, like a trusted family friend, a teacher, or a coach. Um, the other thing is, we don't want the kids believing that the world is always going to be a dangerous and unsafe place. Instead, we want them to think through what behaviors make someone dangerous or unsafe.
What are tricky people?
Yeah, so tricky people might be someone who asks a child to keep a secret, right? That's tricky. It could be totally benign. It could be a grandparent saying to a child, "Don't tell your mom I'm giving you candy before dinner," right? Totally fine. Not dangerous, no real consequences, maybe spoiling your dinner. Um, but it can also be very dangerous for a kid to keep a secret from their parents. So, for example, if they're being abused or if there's something unsafe going on. Another example of a tricky person might be an adult that asks a child to do an inappropriate favor, or a person who tells someone that they're going to do something and they don't do it, right? They don't show up, or, again, things come up, but that can be tricky for a child. Especially children are really concrete thinkers, right? So they're black and white thinkers. So I think this helps kids analyze and interpret their world in a different way that's actually more useful and effective.
I think sometimes even adults can't discern when someone has bad motives. So I'm wondering for kids, are they in some way so pure that they do get alarms about someone that's suspicious, or are they just so innocent that they trust everybody at certain ages?
So at certain ages, kids trust everybody, right? Especially if they have trusting adults in their lives that meet their care needs. So I'm a therapist. I'm also a parent myself. A lot of these concepts I get from both my work and at home. I'm in Chicago. It was one of those perfectly nice first spring days, and my daughter's on her scooter, and I'm chasing after her. And I watch as she, hits a curb the wrong way and falls over. It's like almost in slow motion. And she was fine, but she, had a tiny scrape on her knee and immediately started wailing. And lots of neighbors were out. And so someone came up to me and said, "Can I get her a Band-Aid?" We were 2 blocks from our house. So I go to say no, and my daughter's like, "Yes, I need a Band-Aid." So this person who we didn't know goes up to their apartment, comes down, has a Band-Aid and a, paper towel for her to clean the cut, and, brought a little Beanie Baby toy for her. And so after that situation, I had this thought, like, that was a stranger. We didn't know that person. And that person was kind. He certainly wasn't dangerous. So I walked my daughter through that situation, right? Here's what made that situation not dangerous. They didn't ask us into their apartment. You were with your adults, right? They asked me if it was okay. How nice that person made, you feel better and brought you a Band-Aid and a Beanie Baby. So I think it's really important that kids think through things, that they have a trusted adult that they can ask these questions to. It's all really important.
How do we avoid making kids fearful when talking to them about potential scenarios with tricky people?
That's why I like the language of tricky people. I think you're right. Language really matters. You know, stranger danger, right? That's the assumption that the world is dangerous or unsafe. Tricky people is really intentional language, right? Because a tricky person isn't a bad person necessarily. A tricky behavior isn't necessarily a bad behavior. I think about that grandma giving candy to your child before dinner, right? So when my kid says to my mother-in-law, like, "You're tricky," right? I don't want to get in trouble either. So tricky can be really appropriate. Um, I think there's also tricky situations. Adults have tricky people in their life, right? Those relationships that just are, you need to think a little bit more. There could be tricky situations with friends. It just requires a little bit more thought.
It almost sounds like it's a process of teaching your child instead of a one time, this is a tricky person, now you've got it.
Isn't it always? Every parenting situation is a process. So the idea is for children to stop, think, consider, and if they have questions, to go to you.
Should parents identify a safe adult, or is that also dangerous considering the statistic that you gave that, a lot of times perpetrators are someone known to a child and a family.
Think safe adults outside of parents or caregivers are important. Um, you know, things happen to people, and I think that if you have this foundation with your children that you are always your child's safe person, that they will be believed, that you will help them, that you're here to support them, can help navigate some of those, again, trickier situations. Safe adults are important because it's nice for kids to have, uh, role models and beloved teachers and coaches and family friends. We want that additional love and support in a child's life.
So, as parents work with their kids on this concept, what would be maybe one or two takeaways you would give parents as they start to work through this with their kids?
So I would have these conversations openly and often. I would encourage parents to use real life, in the moment examples. So similar to the story I shared with my daughter, as soon as we walked away and she had her Band-Aid and her toy and she was, absolutely fine, we talked about that situation. I think ask a lot of open-ended questions to your kids. So the other thing with kids is not all kids are ready to listen or hear these things. So you gotta, meet your child where they're at. We don't want to, like you said, we don't want to create fear in children. So that is really slowing down, asking questions, being thoughtful in your responses, really giving kids what is developmentally appropriate for them to learn and hear, and what they're asking to learn and hear.
That is Jamie Kreider, licensed clinical social worker and founder of Nurture Therapy, joining us this morning on KMOX. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Is the new iPhone packed with enough new features to get you to upgrade? We'll get a preview of Apple's new technology rollout with Debbie Monterrey. That's coming up next. First, though, let's see how things are rolling on the roads as you get to work to try to pay for that new iPhone. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, this traffic reports the service of Chesterfield Fence and Deck, Megan, and eastbound Highway 70 continues to improve. It's still slow, though, from A, most of the way in through Highway K toward T.R. Hughes, Blanchette Bridge into 270. There's some slow traffic. Hanley Road up through Bermuda. There's just an incident. I can't tell if it's a stall or a crash on the right shoulder just before you get to Lucas Hunt. Westbound drivers on 70 slow at about Kings Highway into that same general vicinity. 364 is cleared out, just a little busy at Bennington. Eastbound 64, a little slow at Prospect, slow through Winghaven. There's still slow stuff from east of Ballas or Spady all the way through the Interbelt. Westbound 64 at Boyles, a little busy. Clayton Skinker through Big Bend, slow. South 270, Dorset to Ladue, heavy. North 270 is bogged down from Gravois up to Ladue. 44 eastbound, pretty well thinned out. Northbound 55 Union up through Virginia, still some heavy stuff. And past Park to the Poplar. And westbound 64 is still a couple of slowdowns. Ball Avenue to the bridge. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It was a beautiful afternoon yesterday. We'll have another one today. It'll be a little warmer, though, a high of 82. Patchy clouds tonight with a low of 63. Right now, sunshine, 54 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or at newnordicusa.com.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM on KMOX. Here's Debbie Monterrey.
It's a big day for Apple and people who love Apple products as they unroll some of their newest. Sabrina Ortiz is joining us. She's a senior editor with ZDNet. And the big thing people always want to know, Sabrina, is what can they possibly do to improve the iPhone this time?
This event actually a very, very exciting one because beyond the usual upgrades that you get every year for a new phone model, right, which is new exciting features, new hardware that's typically just a bit better, whether on performance, whether it's battery or camera. There's actually going to be a brand new model that's rumored, which would be called like the Air or the Slim. And this model will just be the thinnest iPhone that they've released to date, kind of similar to Samsung's S25 Edge. And it will just be a brand new phone that we've just never seen before, which is pretty exciting.
The camera is always a big deal. I know my kids have a better iPhone than I do, and theirs take amazing pictures, but Apple continues to upgrade that.
Yes, absolutely. It definitely depends on which model you're going for. Like you mentioned, for some people, having the base model of just 2 cameras is just fine. We don't expect them to add a third camera to that this year. But it'll still be, you know, if you've ever used the base model, they're still really capable cameras, but maybe not as powerful as some of the better models. And in that case, if you are a big camera user, you'll be happy to hear that the Pro models are supposed to be getting some pretty handy upgrades that'll enhance your photo taking experience even further.
All right. And for people who take a really expensive phone and don't put it in a case because they love the color, are we going to see some new colors as well?
Oh, absolutely. We're definitely expecting to see some new colors. And especially exciting is that the Pro models are supposed to be getting, from all the leaks and all the mock-ups we see, a revamped new look on the back. So you'll actually, if you've seen the models for the past year, they typically kind of look somewhat of the same, especially in the last couple of iterations. But now, especially the Pro models are supposed to have a brand new look. So not only will the colors be a bit different, we're supposed to be expected to finally get an orange, which is really exciting, a really highly requested color, but also have a quite different look on the back that will make it feel, again, like, oh, wow, this is an upgrade worth making. It is a new looking phone.
Artificial intelligence has been a challenge for Apple. Their Apple Intelligence, it had a rough start, to say the least. What's the latest with AI or Apple Intelligence with the new 17?
Yeah, that's such a great question. So the really fun part about the AI features is that we really already saw them all be unveiled at WWDC, their Worldwide Developer Conference, back in June. And then that's when they published or unveiled all the features, but they won't be actually available until the launch that will be happening tomorrow. So even though we got a preview, we'll be able to see them in action via iOS 26, which is not only coming to the iPhone 17 lineup, but it's also available to some of the prior models. So whether you decide to upgrade your hardware or not, you'll still be able to take advantage of some of the latest and greatest AI features, which is really exciting.
What about the Apple Watch? Is there a new Apple Watch coming out as well today?
Apple Watch is rumored to have 3 new models, including a new SE the likeliness of this one is yet to be seen, but that would be really exciting because that hasn't happened in a bit. Also, a new Ultra, and of course, the Watch Series 11.
It's Apple's biggest event of the year, and maybe it's all on your list. That's the latest from Sabrina Ortiz, as senior editor at ZDNet. Thanks for the information today.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Debbie. And still ahead on KMOX, investigators take a fresh look at a 45-year-old cold case, plus a St. Louis startup providing virtual maternal care for new moms and infants. It's now 8:28. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
My husband and sister-in-law are caregivers to a mom with Alzheimer's. And so over the course of many years, I have watched them make some pretty difficult decisions and work to adapt to help their mom as this disease has progressed. And that's why I am once again taking part in the St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's. So mark your calendar, Saturday, October 25th at Chesterfield Amphitheater in Central Park. Then go to alz.org/walk to sign up and join me. Last year, you raised more than $1.3 million that supported Alzheimer's and dementia care, support, and research. And those research efforts are creating breakthroughs. In just the last couple of years, treatments have become available that address some of the underlying biology of the disease rather than the symptoms to slow the progression down. The St. Louis Walk to End Alzheimer's isn't just an opportunity to fundraise, though. What I found was that it was a great chance to connect with other families who are facing the same challenges. So I hope you'll join me Saturday, October 25th, at Chesterfield Amphitheater in Central Park. Register today at alz.org/walk.
Your biggest choice in home restoration is, who do you trust with your home, your most valued asset? Well, if you can match Banner Construction's experience and dedication to excellence. Banner is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor and Pella window specialist. Restoration is a one-time opportunity to have Banner's design team show you architectural options to make your home the neighborhood showcase. Call for a free consultation today, 314-569-1050. Now hiring qualified carpenters. BannerConstruction.com.
I hear from sellers all the time that they fear they have missed out on the selling market. They are so relieved to learn September, October, and November are strong selling months. With low inventory and hopefully lower interest rates, this fall will be a hot one for real estate. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. You may have heard me say, why pay more than 4 for years? Now it's why pay more than 2, saving you even more money. Call me 314-441-4444. And remember, why pay more than 2?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri, Kansas, and Nevada.
8:30, time for another update on the roads. We head back to the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Roger, how's it look?
Well, just slow going out there for some folks, Megan. This traffic reports the service of McKelvey Homes. Eastbound 70, still some slow stuff. Lake St. Louis and through Highway K, a little busy past 270. South 270 is better. It's just Olive through Ladue now. North 270, longer run there, but better, but still busy from Gravois all the way to Ladue. Eastbound 64, east of 364 through Winghaven, there's still a couple of heavy spots. East of Ballas all the way in through the Interbelt, still busy. South 170 bogged down at about Ladue. Westbound 64, Clayton Skinker to Big Bend, the only slowdown there. Northbound 55, just looking at some heavy traffic from Union Road up to, or Bayless really, up to River Repair. Westbound 70, a little slow at the city limits. And on the Illinois side, still not much of a change. There's a minor crash near the 70 split, so it's still heavy from Ball Avenue to there, and then west of 3rd Street onto the Poplar. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Looks like we're going to have a very nice afternoon. It'll be warmer than it was yesterday, a high of 82 with partly sunny skies. Clouds tonight with an overnight low of 63. Currently sunshine, 54 in downtown St. Louis. 45 years. That's how long the one and only unsolved murder case in Ellisville has gone cold. But now, thanks to new technology and a fresh look, police are hoping to find Margaret Walsh's killer. On April 24th, 1980, Walsh, known to friends as Marge, was found shot and killed inside the Dairy Queen she managed on Clayton Road. Police believe she was leaving the restaurant the night before when she was approached by someone. The two went back inside where the office was ransacked, including Walsh's purse. Former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch heading a new investigation for the Ellisville Police Department. He says modern DNA technology will give them a chance to retest key evidence, including Walsh's clothes and the bullet that killed her.
Marge had 3 children at the time, 16, 18, and 21. All are deceased. None had children of their own. Marge was divorced and her ex-husband had remarried. Her ex-husband is deceased. I located and interviewed her ex-husband's second wife, who still lives in the community. Marge has a surviving sister who lives in Massachusetts. I've spoken with her several times since the case was reopened. Marge had a boyfriend at the time of the homicide. I was also able to determine that he is now deceased.
It was once rumored murderer Maurice Byrd could have killed her. He killed 4 people at Pope's Cafeteria in Des Peres in 1980, but police ruled him out after he was put to death in 1991. Since the case was reopened in April, police say they have received many tips that they're actively following up on. Ellisville Police Chief Steve Lewis.
Someone out there knows what happened to Marge. Maybe it's a memory you've held out for years, or a piece of the story that you didn't know mattered to us. Well, it does. Now's the time to come forward. We're asking for the public's help. If you have any information at all, no matter how small it seems, please contact us or reach out anonymously to Crime Stoppers. A reward of up to $5,000 is available for information that leads to an arrest.
It's now 8:34.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
It's 8:36, time for your money report, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Kimberly Adams.
Good morning. Optimism that the Federal Reserve will cut interest rates next week helped the stock market yesterday. The major averages posted gains ranging from 0.2% to 0.5%. The Nasdaq closed at a record high. It's getting more expensive to insure your home. If you've taken a look at your latest bill, then you probably noticed that premiums are through the roof. Intercontinental Exchange reports that the average annual property insurance payment for single-family homeowners with a mortgage is now nearly $2,400 a year. That's a 70% jump over the past 5 years. The price of gold reached another record yesterday. The rally was stoked by a growing number of bets that the Feds will cut interest rates soon. Already, gold has climbed nearly 40% this year. And it's a big day for iPhone fans. Apple is rolling out its new line of iPhones today. They will be the company's first smartphone since President Trump returned to the White House and imposed new tariffs. We'll find out today whether the levies resulted in any price increases. With your Bloomberg Money Report, I'm Kimberly Adams on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Well, I only got 2 out of my 4 picks last night on Underdog in the Bears-Vikings game. Wide receivers, I nailed it. Justin Jefferson, Jalen Naylor, but I missed on the quarterbacks, Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy. I thought they'd have more passing yards. But Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. Maybe you would have picked differently than me. Playing on Underdog is easy. You just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats, and you can win big money. Get your entries right. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Download the app today and sign up with promo code TOM and score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TOM. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaners. So I love the fall. As you know, I've been waiting for fall now. It just seems like for so long. Football, back to school, the crisp air, it's a great time to nest. Zero Res is giving you a great fall offer. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. These guys have been to my house a dozen times, maybe more than that. I have pets who aren't great at hitting the spot, and so they keep it really clean for me. Maybe you have pets, maybe you have kids, maybe you just have a family. You know how they do damage to those carpets. We also do couches and chairs and hardwood floors. Or if you're a dentist and you have more than 3 rooms, we're going to make you a great DJS deal. Again, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $129, $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call 314-474-2020, or you can book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
A coma, a miracle, and the fight of my life, I made it back to the games wearing my signature cowboy hat and jersey. Then came the baseball pants, the replica trophy, and the smiles and joy from the young fans. That's when the Cardinal Cowboy was born. Renter Garage Door knows how to bring joy too. With top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, and family service you can trust, get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER. SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
We have cloudy skies, 54 degrees at 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. The Israeli military has urged a full evacuation of Gaza City ahead of its planned expanded military operation in the city in northern Gaza. An immigration attorney says many South Korean workers detained in a U.S. immigration raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia were brought in for highly specialized work that Americans aren't trained to perform. And a St. Louis startup using virtual technology to check in on newborns and their moms. Michael Calhoun will have more on that next. First, though, let's see what's happening on the roads. And if we've still got slow going out there, Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Yeah, it's still a little slow in spots, Megan. This traffic report's a service of FanDuel Sports Network. If you're traveling on eastbound Highway 70, you've got heavy traffic from just 270 into the Rock Road, really. Westbound's a little busy at the city limits on 70 right now. 64 eastbound, still a brief slowdown east of Winghaven. It's still pretty busy, though, from Ballas all the way in through the Interbelt. South 170 slows down at Ladue. Westbound 64 from about the Tam overpass out toward Hanley, a couple of slow spots. South 270 just olive down to Ladue, busy. North 270 still slow, though, basically 44 all the way up to Ladue. 55, you've still got the heavy traffic. Bayless up to River to Pear. Westbound 64 better, just slow on the Poplar. And I'm seeing a little delay at the 70 split. That's where we had a crash that cleared to the shoulder. And they do road work every day on the McKinley Bridge. It's supposed to be from 9 to 3, but I'm already seeing a jam from Broadway headed across to the Missouri side there. Cardinals fans, FanDuel Sports Network is your TV and streaming home of the Cardinals. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals, or watch through your TV provider. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com for details. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's going to be a warmer afternoon today, a high of 82 with partly sunny skies. Clouds tonight, a low of 63. Right now, partly sunny, 54 degrees downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM. Here's Michael Calhoun.
Well, as we continue on KMOX, let's introduce you to some of the companies of the future here for the Global Healthcare Innovation Summit put on by BioSTL. And we're talking right now with the Chief Medical Officer at Pomelo Care, Isabel Van Cohorn. Thank you so much for being with us, Isabel.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us, what is Pomelo Care?
Pomelo Care is a 24/7 virtual medical practice for women and children. We really focus on maternal and infant care, and our goal is to improve outcomes for patients and to really help families thrive.
And what led you to identify this as something that was a need, first of all, and then something that you wanted to tackle yourself?
Well, you know, I was a practicing neonatologist for almost 20 years, and what I saw was that so many babies who came to my NICU, really the reason they were there was potentially avoidable. Their mothers hadn't gotten adequate prenatal care, or they'd gotten some care, but they had something like diabetes or high blood pressure in pregnancy, which wasn't well managed. And I realized that I wasn't going to be able to solve the problem from inside my NICU. So I came to Pomelo Care to really address those population health needs and keep babies out of my NICU.
And how did you come to know about St. Louis? What are your impressions of St. Louis, especially as a community for this kind of work? What were they before you kind of became familiar, and how do you know St. Louis now?
Well, we were so honored to be invited to participate in BioSTL this year. St. Louis has always been a place that I wanted to work. It's also really impressive how St. Louis reaches out across the state and really brings the riches that are available here at the academic centers to the rural areas. And that's really a place where we're excited to be able to partner and be part of the solution for all of Missouri.
Patients are kind of looking at virtual care these days, and what the environment is.
Well, I think there's been such an acceptance now of virtual care, and now there's really a demand for it. People want the accessibility. They want the personal touch that can come through digital services. And of course, in the women's and children's space, I mean, this is a population that is historically underserved. And so I'm just thrilled.
And is there a trust that comes, you think, with the patient from accessing a platform that's kind of dedicated to what they're dealing with, as opposed to entering into just a generic, massive, virtual care system and hoping they'll get somebody who has, an expertise in what they need?
Well, Pomelo Care is designed to bring those experts right into people's living rooms. And I think that what folks are looking for is not only the subject area expertise, but also clinicians who really care about them and can spend the time. That's in some ways the irony. We're a digital health company, but what we actually do is increase that human connection between patients and clinicians so that they feel well known and they get top-notch care.
So what is next for Pomelo Care, especially as you're, here in St. Louis and you're scoping things out at the Healthcare Innovation Summit? Are you looking for, new partners, new customers, new investors potentially? Might you look at St. Louis as a home base? Kind of what's next, and what are you looking for here?
Thank you very much for inviting me to move to St. Louis. The weather today certainly makes that very tempting. But really what we're here to do is connect and really build more of a presence in St. Louis, especially with payer partners, employers, really anyone who is interested in improving the health of women and children in their population. And, we've already scaled to having about 25 partners and 15 million covered lives. So we know what it takes to work with really large populations and are ready to do it. So, yeah, excited to be here and scale and really do a lot more work here in St. Louis and Missouri.
Well, can't wait to hear what's next for Pomelo Care. Chief Medical Officer Isabel Van Cohorn is with us on KMOX. So thank you so much, Isabel, for introducing us to your company.
Thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed it very much.
And now we move from youngest kids to some of your oldest kids still staying in tech. You may have recently shipped your college student off to school, but now that they are alone Experts are saying scammers are trying to take advantage. Melanie Roller, head of retail bank fraud at Capital One, says there are a few patterns that they see at the start of every school year.
One is fake shopping sites that mimic real retailers. Another is phony scholarships or loan forgiveness programs that are asking for payment up front. And also unsolicited messages claiming you owe a fee or a past due balance. Another common scam targeting college students can be text messages offering fake job opportunities.
Roller explains how phony scholarship scams work.
So they'll say that you're eligible, but that you need to pay in as part of the application, for example. And then as you can imagine, that scholarship opportunity evaporates once you've made that initial payment.
She points out there should be no fee to apply for a scholarship.
Legitimate scholarship and loan forgiveness programs will never require payment to apply. You should always work through official government channels or your school's financial aid office.
Scammers are reaching out to college students through email, text, even phone calls, and they need to know that it is a red flag if someone asks for personal information.
Legitimate schools or lenders, for example, will not ask for things like passports, passwords, or bank details out of the blue. So that is a definite red flag if you start to see those requests.
She says college students are often targeted by fake credit card offers. Roller says students should be suspicious of anything requiring advance payment, especially those demanding unconventional means like cryptocurrency, gift cards, or wire transfers. It's now 8:48. Coming up next on Total Information AM, Stuart McMillan tells us about the serious game of wiffle ball.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Tom Ackerman here. Genesis of St. Charles makes it so easy for you to buy a new car, and their new cars are spectacular. Genesis of St. Charles and the Genesis brand, they just go hand in hand. Genesis of St. Charles, the #1 Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2025. They are Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership. Just a fantastic facility at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. That's off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and Highway 70. They're closer than you think, but you can test drive from your home. You can buy online, let them deliver to you. Once you get a Genesis vehicle, every purchase, every single one, comes with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet. That means complimentary vehicle pickup and delivery, plus a loaner vehicle at no additional cost. If you're in the market for something new, I highly suggest you test drive a Genesis. Genesis of St. Charles.com.
This is Debbie Monterrey, and I really want you to know about the trusted services that Ever True Anywhere Care provides to older adults who want to age successfully at home. Formerly Lutheran Senior Services, their team of experts specializes in orthopedic care. They also have licensed nurses for in-home support and trained caregivers to help with household tasks like meal prep and medication reminders. Call 314-597-6498 to learn more or visit evertrueanywherecare.org. evertrueanywherecare.org.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra, is back. Next stop, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Arnold, Thursday, September 18th. A limited number of fans can get an autographed picture from City SC player Timo Bunkardel. Win great prizes, enjoy great food, and a cold drink. Hot Shots in Arnold is the place to be Thursday, September 18th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
There's a game that is played by kids that mimics the rules of baseball. It requires a yellow bat and a white ball about the size of a baseball with holes on one side to make it curve. It's called wiffle ball. Stuart McMillan recently spoke with some players who take the backyard game very, very seriously.
That's the nature of wiffle ball.
But Klein's been the only one to get the bat on the ball, really. He's had 2 ground outs as he crushes that one deep to left, and it's gone. 1-0, walk-off win.
As that one is crushed in the air to left field. It goes over the net, and it is gone. A 2-run home run off of the bat. Pitch swung on and gone. This ball game is tied. A 2-run home run by Tommy Hernandez. He chose the opportune time to do it, to show his power. Like I said, a tough game like this, a tight game like this is going to make the walk-off
even more exciting.
Sounds from the Mo-Wiff Classic, where wiffle ball players from all over the country converged in O'Fallon, Missouri to compete in an all-day wiffle ball tournament. I was there calling the games for live stream STL with Drake Beekman and Dr. John Swan also on the call. Getting to see the game played at a different level, dare I say professional level. Mo-Wiff Commissioner Cam Smith runs the tournament and a league in Chesterfield with the same name.
Tell me about the style of wiffle ball, because I don't think this is, our dad's wiffle ball style of game.
It's not backyard wiffle ball, that's for sure. It is, but it isn't. So here in this tournament, we have no speed restrictions. So there's guys that are throwing 80, 90. Some can throw 100 miles an hour.
Get out of here. Triple digits? Are you serious?
There's a couple guys here that have hit that before. 2 or 3 of them, in fact. So that's pretty impressive.
Do they have
there's
robotic,
a home run. Look
robotic
at that.
arms?
Yeah, we call one of them Ivan Drago from Rocky, because he's kind of got that build and that look, and he just he plugs into the machine and he goes. But we use a little bit bigger of bats too, so not the typical yellow bat that you see. We got all ranges of different, like carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber bat?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Some of our bats run to $200-$300. Yeah, they're a lot bigger. They're more shaped like a kind of a MLB wooden bat type style, like the length and the width. So a little bit easier to hit some of those guys that are throwing pretty hard. So otherwise, there's not a lot of hits with these bigger bats. You use that old style yellow bat, you're definitely not getting many hits.
Are you a pitcher?
I am. Yep.
What do you toss?
Right now, I sit in the upper 80s. I used to be able to throw in the mid 90s, but age is kind of getting to me. I was the national pitcher of the year back in 2021, and that was kind of my top year pitching. And
that was peak.
Yeah, that was the peak. Those are the 93, 94 days, and I have a lot of good movement and a lot of good location. The location I still got, but the speed just kind of tails off. A lot of injuries when you throw a little plastic ball that hard. It's kind of tough.
Tell me about the love for wiffle ball. How did it start?
My backyard, man. Me and my brother. My brother's 4 years younger than me. Me and him played almost every day. So much I have a wiffle ball tattoo on my leg, and there's a lot of guys that I know that do too. It's just you meet a lot of interesting people. We like to say, we're a wiffle ball family because we all got a little screwed loose, but that's what we got to do to play this game.
Let's talk about the future. So you did next year. You're going to have the national a competition here.
Yep.
What else?
Next year is our big one. That's really what we're focused on right now. This is kind of a test run for that because it'll be here in this stadium, the NWLA national tournament. There will be that is a very league specific tournament. So you have to come with players from your league. You have to qualify from your league, and it's basically like all-star teams. Right now we have I think 11 teams already signed up, and the tournament's not for another year.
All right, so it's 48 to the zone. 48 to the zone. And the zone's 2.5. 46 to the plate. Yep.
One of the teams, the Cajuns, who ended up winning the Mo-Wiff Classic tournament, had players who flew in from New York, Vegas, and Idaho.
So why travel from New York to St. Louis? Just to play a little wiffle ball.
No, well, I travel a lot for work, so actually traveling for anything is pretty much everything I do for a living.
Okay.
This is just my escape from reality. It's a very expensive hobby. So, it's just one of those things that you just can't not do, you know?
Why'd you fall in love with wiffle ball?
You grow up playing it as a kid. I actually got into competitive starting with my father and my little brother, and it just grew from there and went from the backyard to a different state.
Wow. And Vegas, do they play wiffle ball in Vegas? A lot of wiffle ball out there?
Not as much as the East Coast in here, but a little bit. They have different styles. It's more like medium pitch with the traditional like yellow small bat. But there is still a good amount of wiffle ball. Not as much out here like the East Coast, like I said, but a good amount where we can get our reps in. But if you want good competition, you got to come out here.
And thank you to Stuart McMillan for that. Coming up tomorrow on Total Information AM, KMOX business analyst Jerome Katz will dissect what's happening with the job market right now. And we're hearing reports that the U.S. Health Secretary may release a study that links acetaminophen use in pregnancy with autism risk. I'm going to talk with an autism specialist and WashU researcher about what's out there. It's now 8:56.
U.S. Steel will stop processing at Granite City after October. We'll chat with the mayor of Granite City, Mike Parkinson, plus former St. Louis County Police Chief Tim Fitch on reopening the 1980 Ellisville cold case involving a murder at Dairy Queen. It all starts at 9 a.m. on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Tom Ackerman